Okay, so let's do the end of session rewards because we didn't get a chance to do them last time. Um, so we're fresh off the excitement of Nullworth's failed instinct, but it was so flavorful and so like evocative to get us to the end of that session and into the next one. So yeah, so now we go around and we check, just like in Burning Wheel, we check our instincts, our beliefs, etc., to see if we get fate and persona points. So we'll go around in a circle. So acting on your belief. Let's start with Pete, with Nelworth.
Okay.
What's your, yeah, tell us remind us of your belief and if you think that you acted on it.
So yeah, I'll read the belief. I'm the only one who can free my fellow thralls and later myself. Now, there was a moment where Chuck, what's your character's name again?
Sister Cadigan.
Yes, Sister Cadigan. There was a moment where Sister Cadigan sort of like she mentioned like, you know, during the course of our adventure, maybe we can like try to set you free. And I was sort of very coy and I was like, you know, I never thought of that. But like I was basically acting out of like fear of being caught. You know what I mean? So it was like sort of playing to the exact opposite of that belief because, you know, being a slave and then, you know, if your slave owner was to hear you sort of making plans to leave,
That's
it
right.
would be problematic. So that's sort of what was going on in my head there with that situation.
You would get a persona point for playing against your belief. But I don't know if this was dramatic enough. Like you really have to go against the very fiber of your being.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I don't think that you weren't acting on your belief by having that interaction. Um, do you feel like the things that you did kind of were in service to you figuring out how to, you know, be the savior of your group?
I would say overall throughout the playthrough last time, the only thing that I really did was like I wanted to go and like look for gold teeth and look for any little knickknacks and stuff like that were like, you know, hoarding resources. But that's really all I can think of that sort of follows up with that.
Okay, well, I'll say that, let's just say that you didn't act on it. That's totally okay. You know, you will get, and I'm going to say that you do get a fate point because you were acting towards your goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were definitely acting towards your goal. All right, so let's move to Hank.
All right. So for me, I mean, it wasn't much. I definitely didn't accomplish it, but the reason why I inspected all the runes and everything around the entrance of the cave was I was trying to see signs of powerful magic. So that was really the only place that I really tried to interact with that belief.
Wait, what's your belief is again?
It's powerful magics are my birthright.
I think that to get this point, I think you have to like kind of like fight for them. You have to put yourself in more danger to get them, I think.
Sure.
You know, or to like sort of, you know, learn things or take, you know, magical things for yourself.
Fair enough.
So I might say no to that, and that's, you know, that's totally fine. It's only the first session, and there's plenty more opportunities to get points. for right now. Chuck, Cadigan,
So we're talking about belief, but not goal. Is that right?
belief. Yeah, we'll loop back to goal.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So my belief and my goal are kind of the reason I ask is my belief and goal are kind of closely related. And so my belief is that I am the church, and my goal is that I will find an artifact of the old church. There was a moment when I was um, uh, trying to figure out uh, the rituals that were conducted in this old place, and then was interested in reenacting them. But that I feel like that has more to do with the goal than it does with the belief. I'm not sure.
Well, do you think that like I am the church? Do you feel like you came in as a force and embodied it in what you were and how you were dealing with what was happening?
Yeah, I do. I feel like I was acting as I was trying to be the church in trying to reenact those rituals in order to understand them and perpetuate the ancient rites.
Now, I think I have one more question about the belief.
Right.
Is when you've embodied this idea of like I am the church,
Right.
you're representing it as a whole. Do you feel like it's like when you say that you're proving yourself, like you have to
I have to
like
prove myself.
you're yeah,
Yeah,
is it
I
like
think
that?
that's right. I think
Because
that's
I
right.
feel like it's yeah, because you've explained it as somewhat like confrontational.
Yeah, it is confrontational, and I feel like the reason I feel like this has more to do with the goal than with the belief was that I don't know that I proved my belief against either forces that there were no forces out there that disbelieved in my being the church, so there wasn't anybody I was proving it to.
Okay. Yeah, let's say that none of you guys got your belief this time.
Okay.
And that's totally okay.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm making sure that you guys feel okay about it so much. Um, but yeah, so this is something to think about, like how to make these beliefs, how to get get your rewards out of those beliefs. Also, maybe in play, you can kind of hone the belief to maybe mean to be actionable in a way that is meaningful to what you kind of mean it to be in your
Yeah.
character.
Okay.
So yeah, so second thing, working toward your goal. Let's start back up at with Nelworth.
So the way my goal reads currently is find an angle for Mr. Greenstreak to exploit. Yeah, so I don't know. Just going on this adventure has been it, but I think in terms of like the actions we took in gameplay, um, you know, it's not like I took notes about someone's behavior or something, you know.
Is that what you were meaning by the goal?
Yeah, I guess what I mean is like, how do I manipulate the other like people in the party? How do I you know, uh find resources to give to him? How do I like, you know,
Well, I think you definitely worked toward it. You were checking out the skulls. You were like, you know, you were kind of talking to the other people, sort of ingratiating yourself a bit. Putting yourself in, and I think you admitted that you were playing coy with, when Cadigan was saying like, we're going to free you, you were kind of playing it, you were kind of playing it cool. I think you definitely worked toward your goal.
Okay,
Yeah. So,
cool.
so
Thank
that
you.
gives you a fate point.
Awesome. Now, just a note here, I'm checking off on current total.
Let
Or
me open up the sheets. Boom, boom. Current, and then current total, and then total spent. Yeah. So right now, since you didn't get one for your belief, you did get one for working towards your goal. So right now you just have one.
okay.
Yep. So that's current total. So when you spend them,
Mhm.
so yeah, when you spend them, you're you're going to click your current total down 1, and then your total spent up 1.
Gotcha.
Because the total spent rewards is what you chart for going up in level.
Okay. Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you get the reward points, and then you have to spend them in order to really advance.
Okay.
So let's see. Goal, working towards your goal. Skooky, Hank.
My goal was I want to find a trace that the child was in the crypt. So I definitely pursued it, but did not find anything. I had everybody helping me look for hand and footprints, and
You absolutely work towards your goal for sure. Chuck, Cadigan, did you
Yeah.
work towards your goal?
Yeah. So, I think I'm a little unclear on whether I didn't accomplish the goal. I think it really depends on what we mean by artifact. So if we mean by artifact, it's just an object from way back that was used in some ritual means, I think I found those things. But if we mean by artifact as something with magical essence within it, which is fine, then I've been working toward it, but I haven't done it.
Well, I think like from a like a fictional standpoint, those things are one and the same. As far as I'm concerned too. Like what is an artifact in our life, in real life? Something that held, great significance of some sort. So I think, does Cadigan feel like she found something of the old?
Yeah, I think she has found something of the old ways and has attempted to. I think she was about to reenact a thing, or she figured out how the Shrine of Purification worked. So I feel like she has accomplished that goal. If that's cool with you, but I didn't want to.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, for sure. No,
Okay.
and that's the thing. You guys can lobby for, if you accomplished it, and if I'm a little bit on the fence, I'll ask everyone else what they think.
Gotcha.
And I don't want to deprive anyone of points. I definitely want you guys to do well. But there's a certain amount of like,
right.
playing the game, so,
Absolutely.
and making sure you really work for it. But I think you did. You found the ewer and the tub and like the different
Right.
stuff. So you'd get a persona point and not a fate point.
But not a fate point. Got it.
Cool. Now benefiting from your instinct. I think we only had one instinct trigger, and it was not a success. There's no penalty for it, but you don't get the no one gets the benefit here. Gallows humor. So you guys remember that. So I'll just read this out. The gallows humor. If a character offers a grim assessment of their fate while staring down certain death, they are rewarded with 1 fate point. Gallows humor is for dry comments that punctuate moments of improbable survival, or that add a wry grin to moments of terror and bloodshed. Not a pun or a caper, but a sharp crack in the face of the Grim Reaper.
Got it.
And gallows humor is always performed in character. So if someone has that quip, that dark chuckle, remember that you can do that, and you can get a fate point for it.
Cool, dude. I'm gonna rack them in on that.
Yeah. So now earning fate points. So playing against your belief. I don't think anyone, played against your belief. And you guys, I want you guys to read this section too, in the book, so like what that means, and know that it's available, and know that you can really make a dramatic thing happen. You have to make a dramatic thing happen in order to get that point. I guess that's similar to the mold breaker thing.
Now, is that in the Scholar's Guide or in the Dungeoneers?
We're on
This
page.
it's in the Scholar's Guide.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on page 87 or nope, sorry, 85 of the Scholar's Guide, where it says playing against your belief under earning persona points.
Yep. Okay, so now accomplishing your goal. We went over that. Cadigan did, and the other guys did not, but they worked towards them for sure. Now crisis. This didn't happen, but I'll go over what it is. During play, characters will reach moments of crisis when they must decide either to benefit themselves or to fight for something bigger than personal gain. The crisis always costs something: blood, respect, trust, wealth, social standing, or power. Moments to advocate for oneself to come out ahead are represented by beliefs and goals. Moments to advocate for a higher cause are crises of creed. This is creed. No one's got a creed yet. A player earns a persona point for an internal crisis if their character stands up for their creed in a moment of crisis, if their character's creed is violated, voided, or broken, and they demonstrate the inner turmoil born from this revelation. So when you guys get to the level 3, you're going to get creeds. That's going to add more opportunities for you to kind of,
Okay.
really dive deep. So now we vote for most valuable player, MVP, and the team worker. So the player who made the critical roll of the session earns the MVP persona point. And the player who worked the hardest to keep the group together and in good shape earns 1 persona point for their effort. So the MVP doesn't necessarily have to be like the critical role, but it can be just, they kind of, we're there in the clinch. So what do you guys, and you guys vote for this?
Got it. Well, so I'm looking over the sheet from last time. There were really just 3 rolls, 2 of them successful. I thought Skooky did a great job examining glyphs that warned us about what this place was and that there was a curse that would befall someone. That feels like a critical role that we succeeded in. So maybe that's worth MVP.
Also, Sanj taking initiative to push his way into the tunnel first,
Yeah,
kind of
That's
kick
true.
things off.
yeah. And we're
And
talking about
I think Chuck's character just being, had a critical part to play when all that religious stuff was happening.
What just happened?
You
we lost a
skipped
little
for a
audio.
second.
You want to repeat that, Hank?
Oh yeah, I was saying that I was nominating Chuck's character for being important as well because she was interacting when we encountered that religious area. She was able to contribute then.
True. Yeah, no, let's think about what Sanjay's character did. We haven't gotten, to talk about if he's, worked toward his goal or his played his belief or whatever. But let's talk about what he did in general. He didn't make any roles.
He was a great helper of things.
But yeah, he kind of like guided things along. He sort of ushered, he kind of made sure that everyone was kind of like, keeping it moving, and kind of like staying safe. Oh, Sanj.
Oh, what's up?
Hey there.
Yo.
We're just talking about you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we went for a walk in Denver, and Sasha's taking a nap, and he's in a play like he has like 8 o'clock Eastern. So he's gonna leave and head out there. So I
cool.
have time.
Great, very cool. We were just talking about MVP and team worker, and we were talking about all of the supporting things that you did that Elendil did during the thing. Actually, I think you were a crucial helping role in both the successful roles. So
He also dragged me away from picking at the skulls, which was probably saved us from some trouble, I'm assuming.
that makes some sense. All right, well, so maybe we should put Elendil down for team worker, and maybe Skooky down for most valuable player, because I think warning us about that curse was really crucial at the beginning.
Cool.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Thank you.
All right, and Sanj, let's do your belief and your goal real quick.
Yeah.
Because we didn't think we'd get it from you. So Do you think you acted on your belief?
I think I played arrogantly, like showing off my elven superiority. At least I tried to. But I don't think, it. I'm not sure how it works in this game. If it, it's a goal that I'm actually moving towards or whatever.
Well, what was your belief?
Here, I'm just opening up Roll20. Hold on. Or if you have it there, you could read it for me.
Yeah, let's see. Belief. I am one of the firstborn.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the sound of it, so um it's
You know,
fine. Yeah.
Well,
no one
what is
scored their
it?
belief so far, so you're in good company.
What is it? What
Right.
does it mean? What does it mean to him?
Yeah, so he's starting to realize like that he is not like outwardly he doesn't look like a pointy-eared elf, right?
Hmm.
Is that the world where we built, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, so he knows he's like he doesn't age. He's lived a lot longer than everyone else, right? He didn't feel at home with the dwarves. Okay, he's already like a head taller than everyone, or head and shoulders taller than anyone. Quick to learn, quick to whatever, and he's got these voices in his head. So it's almost like the rocks sing to him or talk to him. The rivers talk to him. Like he's feeling like he's, and then he's heard maybe on the road that there are these people that were the firstborn that that are the essence of the earth or whatever, right? And he's searching for that place or to a place for himself or his people. So part of that might be I am the firstborn, and I've like following my gut. I had a whole list of cool beliefs, but
But it sounds like what you mean is that like he's kind of questioning it. Like he knows
yes,
on in some way, but he's also like he's also coming from thinking that maybe thinking that he was a dwarf, whatever we're calling them. Um,
yeah,
so like
Tomka,
maybe
yeah.
it's yeah, like maybe it's kind of like he's um his belief is like I think that if you act on it in a way that where you're kind of searching and kind of like questioning
Hmm.
reality because you're feeling kind of crazy.
Right.
Do you like I think that that's kind of what you mean by that.
Yeah, here's some thoughts. I had some. I asked Reddit for some ideas. Um, I will follow the voices in my dreams until they lead me home. Um, or the world of the Fae is the only place where I belong. Or the mountains are large and strong, but they are also cold. Without the aid of. So
What was that? What was the first or second one?
I will follow the voices in my dreams until they lead me home. And the world of the Fae is the only place where I belong.
How
Um,
about how about okay, say the voices one again.
I will follow the voices in my dreams until they lead me home.
What if it's this is a belief. This is something that you believe is true. Like
Yeah,
maybe say the voices in my head will lead me home.
right. Okay, that's great because that'll just throw me into these situations so long as I can create like a narrative that there's some voice in my head telling me to go to head into these terrible passages.
Yeah, and it's like because when you said saying I will follow the voices, that's more of like it's more of a goal, more of like that's just more of like an idea where
But
by saying the voices in my head will take me home, like that's like something that you believe to be true about yourself and about the world. So I think
yeah,
that's I think that's what you mean, and you can change it to that going forward.
yeah,
But now the final question is, do you think that you behaved in that way last session?
no, no.
Okay. All right. So nobody got their belief, and that's okay. Do you think you worked towards your goal?
What was my goal last session? I will protect these no good nicks and prove my superiority. Yes.
Yeah, I think
You
you did.
definitely did that.
Yeah.
Yep. Great. Your
So he scores a
instinct didn't.
persona point for that. Was
I would say, I mean, well, he didn't prevent Nullworth from
oh,
causing your torches to
you're right. So he didn't accomplish it.
Mm.
Cool.
right, yeah, like stuff kind of got out of his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I
Got
remember
it.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
But you work towards
So
it,
he
so you get a
accomplished,
fate
but he
point.
did not accomplish it, but he worked toward it, gets a fate point. Got it. Thank you.
So I get a fate point, one fate point, and for the other worker course kind of award, or what was it, workhorse? Is that
Team
a
worker.
worker. Team worker is what
there was I think there was workhorse. There used to be a third one. I think it was embodiment, which I would love to bring back actually. I don't know why it's out. Embodiment is like might be
Role-playing.
similar in Burning Wheel, but it's like if you really played your character.
Yeah, good role playing.
Like you really did what they would do. I think Sanj would really get the embodiment, I think, for this, but I think Team Worker is the closest. Is the
So is
closest
Team
thing
Worker
to
a
it.
persona or fate?
It's a
That's
persona,
persona.
I think. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
So
One and
guys, now you're gonna accrue more of these points. To get to level 2, you're gonna have to spend 3 fate points and 3 persona points. So if you do that out in the adventure phase and you get back to town, then you level up.
one.
And you can choose your next level benefit.
So
Cool.
you're spending them just like for benefits, but the fact of spending them is something you keep track of. And once you've spent that many, then you're going to level up.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
And we should be setting a new goal if we want to at this point.
Yeah. And we'll do that once we complete the little setting out section, it's called, which is like the beginning, of session
Gotcha.
thing.
Okay.
So does anybody have any questions or comments or anything like, having to do with last time coming into this time before we officially like start the next session?
Nope.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering, do our actions in the grind reset, or are we at 2 kind of thing, or whatever it is?
You're still at you're still going to be it's turn 3. Yeah, so
Okay.
the grind stays.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, the grind stays, but things like traits refresh. So if you used them last time, you can uncheck the uses there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and now you can use them
Okay.
1 or 2 times or whatever it is again. I answered the question, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I have another question about the grind, but it's a quick question about light. Now, his instinct doesn't take up a turn, and our torch would have lasted 2 turns. So normally, if it hadn't gotten blown out, the torch would have lasted during turn 1, during turn 2, and then again during turn 3. But now, because it went out, we've got to start over with a new torch during turn 3 if we relight. Is that correct?
New torches. Yeah, I'm pretty sure when a light source goes out, it has to be like refreshed. Like
you got to spend a new one.
You got to spend a new one. Yeah.
Okay, that's what that makes sense.
So it's been consumed, like that item has been consumed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. We can check, but I'm pretty sure that that's how it is. It's a little bit harsh, but it's like, it is what it is.
It's a consequence.
Yep.
Last question, are we still fresh? Because we got a twist instead of a condition. So we're still fresh, is that correct?
Yep, no one's got, if anyone had gotten a condition, they're no longer fresh.
Right.
So you guys should all still be fresh.
All right, great.
Do
Good
we
news.
get individual conditions, or is it just conditions to the group?
Oh yeah.
Well,
We can
it
get
depends
into
on like the conditions that you have. So, hungry, hungry and thirsty would be the first one. But if by chance you're hungry and thirsty and you can't remedy it, or you have other conditions, if you don't have, they stack up. So
Yep.
people are going to be
but that's
uneven.
just to you and not to the group, right? So there could be somebody in the group who's fresh and another person who's hungry and thirsty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's all in your sheet. Yeah. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. That's why the teamwork thing and like taking care of each other becomes like a really important thing. Someone was going to ask something.
Eric, can you just share the turn tracker to me at that Sandwise address?
Damn it, Sanj.
I know.
Just kidding. Let's see.
I'm curious to
Okay.
see what it looks like.
Oh, Sanjeev Shah has to be an editor. Okay, okay, I'm gonna.
Sandwise Shaw at
Yep.
Gmail.
Okay. Yeah. I see the request. Let's share it, baby. Okay,
There
you
we
should
go.
be able to be in there.
Oh yeah, something just popped in there. I think. It's in the Torchbearer thing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll find it.
Unless it's just in my own. It might. For some reason, it might just be in my own Google Drive. But
Okay,
if I
I'll get
if I
It'll
share
be
it to
in
you,
shared with you. So since you shared it with us, there's another section called shared with you on Google Drive and it'll be there.
Okay, I see it. It's right here now. So, yep. Thank you. Okay, so we're turn 3. Cool.
yeah,
Real quick inventory question. So
sure.
that candle's been consumed, and
That's
then
right.
in my backpack I have candles plural. How many am I supposed to have as a thing? And I'm gonna delete the one that I haven't carried because that
Yep.
one has expired.
hmm
And then how many are remaining in my bag then?
Let me look. I think it's 4 candles. 4.
Okay, so
So
I now have 3.
yep.
Okay.
And whose torch was being used? It wasn't me, I think. It was someone else was carrying a torch.
I think it was Ellendale.
Ellendale, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
it's
and
him? Sorry.
one thing real quick, Skooky, Kit, you've got here. Can I edit this? Torch. What is it? Torch is 2 to a slot.
I
can't
think
remember.
so. I was a little bit confused on that. I wasn't
Oh,
sure.
I had it down as torches 4. I'll look it up in the book. I thought it was 4 somewhere.
I might be thinking about Goblinville. Sometimes it bleeds back and forth. Torch is 4. Yep, it is 4.
I'm surprised it's only candles 4 in that case, but yeah, candles, there must be big candles.
Yeah.
They're taking up the same amount of space.
They last twice as long as torches.
Okay.
It's a big candle.
Must be big. Yeah, I guess for some reason I thought of them as small, but like there must be like real chunkers.
It's one of
I
those.
like that.
It's one of those big chunky candles you get at the local church. In fact, that's pretty much where he took them from.
Yeah.
Mm.
So you've got spell materials in your worn. That's not really how they work. I'm going to say that you can put them in a pouch on your belt.
Okay.
Because spell materials it's just like some shit that you use to like enhance your spell.
Right.
I don't think they can be worn. Spell materials. Oh, worn. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes. No, you got it right. Sorry about that. Yeah. I guess. Yeah, I guess it can be worn. You just kind of
I think
describe,
they were saying
what
like
it
a
is.
neck pouch or something like that, but who knows?
Oh, cute.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're fine. You're fine on that. Sorry about that. Yeah, I
Right.
think that you're good otherwise. Yeah, you look good. Okay. I wrote some stuff down today to make sure that we went over. Oh, and one more quick thing, Hank. What spell is in your memory palace?
Good question.
You've got one slot.
I'm thinking Wisdom of the Sages.
Okay. So I think on this interface, how that works is I just clicked it for you. There's an X under mem, which I think is memorized.
Okay. And that
Um,
means I can just use it immediately, right?
yeah, you can use it, and you can use it. I think it's just that once, until you memorize it again. The
And the
spell
other
rules are
spells,
pretty
how can
pretty
I
tricky.
use them in a session, or can I?
You have to memorize them, so you have to like memorize them in camp or town. And right now you can only
So
have
I can only use one spell a session, being first level.
well, not session, like basically like per adventure phase.
Okay.
And that means, you know, when you're adventuring and then camp, there's camp phase, and then there's adventuring phase again.
Okay.
But I'm still not completely tight on these rules. But if you scribe a scroll, you can cast them from a scroll.
Perfect.
And the scroll is burned up. But you'd scribe the scroll in camp using, I think it's Scholar. You can check that. But there are
Nice.
ways around like your memorized thing. It's interesting, like spells like magically sort of go from the book into your mind, or from your mind into the scroll, or back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and I want you to make sure you know all those rules, so you're getting as much out of them as you possibly can. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I think we're good with all the bookkeeping and stuff. Were there any more questions?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Cool. Great. I just had the page open. Setting up. Okay. Okay, we're all ready. So now prologue. At the start of each session after the first, one player recounts the events of the previous session. If the group is satisfied and well reminded by the prologue, the recounting player may alleviate one condition. If they have no conditions, restore a point of taxed nature. If they have no tax or conditions, reduce their immortal burden by 1, or memorize a first circle spell. So that was for you magical guys. You can get a benefit from doing the prologue. If no one has conditions or tax at the start of a session, the game master has been too nice. And
Hey,
then
one question. When we were talking, did we decide who got the workhorse and the MVP, if anyone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think I got the workhorse.
And you
Okay.
got Skooky.
Teamwork or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Skooky, that is to say you, Peter, you, Hank, got the MVP.
I didn't, so I'd get a persona then, right?
A persona point,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
and that goes
log-
in current
okay.
total. Yep.
My bad.
Okay, and then one cannot deliver the prologue 2 sessions in a row. So who wants to deliver the spotlight? No one's going to get a benefit from it, but whoever, somebody wants to recount it, tell us what happened. In your own words, like we don't necessarily look through the notes.
That's good.
Yeah.
We met at a busy crossroads on the edge of the frontier. It was cold and windy, and we made a deal with what was his name? Nador, the slave owner of Nullsworth. He had been hired by Skooky's wizard companion. I forget her name. Does anyone have her name? Anyway, to scope out to find a missing child in a dolmen or a burial mound in the fens. Gathering ourselves together, we had never met before. We headed out to this creepy location. There was a gnarled and twisted tree above a dolmen entrance that was only about 2.5, 3 feet high. The inscriptions on the standing stones warned of it said that this was the burial crypt of Vash Hathor,
Vash.
or
Yep.
Hathor Vash, an ancient king and priest of his day, human priest of his day, before the floods. I'm adding in
Nice.
the lore
Nice.
that you
Yep.
brought in. Yeah, before
Cool.
the floods. And there was something in that inscription that spoke of his like power over the dead or something like that. I don't quite remember. We crawled along our bellies down this muddy kind of shallow slope, and then dropped down into a room that actually was not abandoned. There were traces of many footprints going back and forth through the dust. The walls were lined in an octagonal pattern on the left and right hand walls with skulls. We moved forward and into a hallway about 10 feet wide. And then halfway through that hallway, there was an opening on our left. And further down, we could sense like an opening or a darkness to our right, which we haven't explored yet. We went into the passageway on the left, and we were in a fairly large room that seemed to be some kind of like ritual bathing, anointing type of chamber, probably maybe for burial rites beforehand. There was a pool, there was a copper urn, and there was a brazier. And I think lady or priestess or sister Cadigan wanted to perform a ritual to I think consecrate the place, or I don't remember your intent that ritual, but it was kind of used to appease the dead spirits within the burial crypt. And we did it successfully. I think we I don't remember the exact.
I think she just wanted, yeah, I'm trying to see. She was simply determining the purpose of the shrine, a place of purification where people approached the immortals, performing a ritual bath, and then stood in smoke of the brazier reciting prayers.
Okay.
So I didn't actually perform the ritual, but I figured
You
out how it
learned of
worked.
it. Yeah, you
I
figured
learned
out how it works. And meanwhile, Melsworth was getting up to no good, crawling up a little brazier, or and he knocked it over or tipped it or something like that, and then suddenly
Tried to restart it, right? He tried to.
you tried to light it, right, with your you tried to light it, and then a heavy wind blew in from. There was a door, actually. There was a door that we went in. Then there was another door on the right hand wall. Okay, there was two doors. There's one behind us that we went in, which you could call the west wall, And then on the north wall, which is to our right, a wind blew in from that side, the north wall, and took out our candles, and that's where we stopped, or our light source. So my torch and your candle, Nullsworth. That's as much as I can remember.
Right. That's great. You guys feel like that was a good recounting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Better accounting than I could have.
Great.
Pretty thorough.
Cool, thanks.
So, prologue has been given. Now the next step is describe obstacles. Okay, so well, the obstacles right now, darkness is one of them. And now, you know, the wind sort of, you know, blowing some debris around and whatever.
Yeah, like
lights,
my cloak is like flying in the flapping in the wind. Is it so
Yep.
strong that it's like it can physically move us? Like we're fighting? No.
No, it's not that strong, but it's strong enough to continuously blow against the, you know, something like a torch, which is, you know, designed to keep burning, you know. So,
Yeah.
you know,
It'd be hard to start
those
a new
go out.
torch.
Could this
Say
be?
again, Chuck?
I'll ask the priestess. Could this be some?
Well, we
kind
haven't
of-
started. We haven't started yet.
Okay.
I'm just describing the obstacles.
Okay.
So in the darkness, you know, the smell of extinguished torch, you know, the burnt pitch smell, you know, that waxy, you know, extinguished candle smell, you know, some of the dust from the ground, from the floor is now sort of like, you know, sort of kicked up. You know, you're in complete darkness, and you hear, in the door that you originally came from, which, what are we saying? That's the west. It's the
That's
west wall.
west wall.
You hear.
Now it's our east. Now it's our east.
You hear like sounds like at the pace of slow footsteps. What sounds like a hard boot heel against the stone floor, like clock, 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 like that, kind of, and sort of echoes into your chamber.
Oh,
So that's that's what I'm gonna give you as the first obstacles here.
Eric, I
Yeah.
have an instinct, always sense for dangers in the dark. How can I trigger that at this moment?
Well, we'll see. Like once we start.
We still haven't started, Sanj.
So now we've got first time magician. We don't have to do that. Okay, set goals. So now
shit.
everyone write their new goal for the session.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I want to change my goal.
Even though, even in the dark with weird
Oh, that's
footsteps
true.
coming.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, you can be completely like single-minded, but that's boring.
Right. Okay. I want to.
Once the adventure is laid out, instruct the players to write goals for their characters. It's time to pull together. If the group is continuing from a previous adventure, they can change or modify goals as they see fit. They should make changes after the game master describes the obstacles in front of the characters.
So I will relight my torch and save us from the undead.
Take off that first part.
Huh?
Because they actually say in writing goals, don't like I will light a torch is a dumb goal.
Yeah.
I know what you mean though. You know, that's more of like for flavor, but
Yeah.
But yeah. So you want you will save the group from.
Dead.
Okay. That works for me. Cadigan?
I will lay unquiet spirits to rest.
Nice.
And that's so you guys, you know, your characters are really feeling that that's what is sort of about to happen.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think we're leaping to some assumptions about what it is that's out there.
Cool.
If we're
Skookie.
if we're
Oh, yeah,
completely off
Chuck.
base, would you warn us if there's a twist ahead that it's going to turn out just a troop of orcs? Would you give us a warning, or would you let us go ahead with goals that turn out to be completely pointless?
No, I mean, yeah, I would say like it's not really what's happening right now.
Got it. Okay, that's fair.
But I mean, it basically is. Yeah, you guys get the idea. If it was, I think like if it was something that wasn't completely on base with what is happening, but is sort of similar,
Yeah.
it would be really lame of me to just sit back and let you have a goal that just doesn't happen. So
Right.
I would try to make it work for you. I would try to challenge you, to do it.
Got it.
But that is a good question, Chuck.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys were completely off, I would say let's think of something else,
Yeah. Just
No, that's
wanted
good.
to peer behind the curtain and see how you make the sausage a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually had experience where like people would write goals, and it just wasn't in the adventure as written or something.
Right.
It just wasn't something that might come up, or it wasn't something that might come up something. And when I was less experienced, like with this game, they just wouldn't get their goal. But I learned through playing, and also like through a bunch of reading, about play and stuff like that. That it's really important. It's my job to make it so you guys have a chance to do those things, and that's what the game becomes. It's not just like, okay, we're going through a dungeon. It's like,
Right.
yeah, I have to work with you, and that makes it a lot more fun for me actually too.
Yeah.
Oh.
So all right, cool. So Skookie.
I want to find out the nature of this person or thing approaching us.
Oh, cool. Yeah, it sounds like Skookie might be a little bit more at home in the dark, with creepy shit happening. Nullworth. Is it Nullsworth or Nullworth?
Yeah, Nullsworth with an S.
Nullsworth. Okay.
Yeah. I will prove myself valuable after the embarrassment of my error.
Cool.
Mm.
Great. Okay, so change beliefs or instincts. I think the only one that we really needed to adjust was Sanj. Do you guys feel comfortable with yours? Your other guys?
Yep.
I think they're
Yeah, I'm going to work on getting
workable.
the church.
Yep. Okay. Who is the party leader? It can remain Sanj, or it can shift to someone who, might be ready to take the lead in this particular moment.
I think since we're dealing with the spirit, Sister Cardigan should be the lead. What do you guys think?
With my little cardigan sweater. Sure. I'll build a cosplay.
That'd be funny if that's what her name was from. Okay, Cadigan, so you're leader now.
All right. I
Cool.
can be the leader. Sounds good.
Awesome. I'm sure Mapper stays the same. Let's see. Okay, cool. I won't go through the other parts until they actually happen at the beginning of a session. And yeah, cool. So now we're ready to go. So yeah,
Okay.
It's dark. There's those aforementioned smells. And this unsettling quiet that all of a sudden is broken by these hard, solid footsteps against the stone floor.
Okay. Sanj had a instinct that he was interested in firing off.
Always sense for dangers in the dark.
Okay.
I don't know if that's like applicable because kind of already said.
It's dark and there's dangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think well, there might be like a technical issue with it, because like if it's dark, if it's like completely dark, then there's an additional obstacle for darkness, for different things like that. Let's focus what your instinct means and what it does. Because I'm not trying to make it so you can't use it now. I just want to make sure like we know how it triggers.
What I want is my to tap, like I have the firstborn trait, which kind of makes me almost tied into the natural world, the earth around me, the smells, the air, and tapping into all of my other senses, my maybe even my awareness of the dream world. Is is it triggering like spidey sense, basically, like, guys, there's like 5 of them coming down that way, or it's I smell death on the air. I hear the scrape of metal, like, armor, some kind of like advantage in the fight that could come. Or should we run away, like maybe down the hallway where the northern passageway, we should like sneak that way or whatever.
Sounds
Okay.
like someone's trying to roll us nature.
Yeah, what are the nature descriptors?
Hiding. I have one is enchanting, remembering, and hiding.
Yeah, I mean, so it sounds like you're trying to get information.
Mm-hmm.
Remembering rather than hiding, unless he's trying to hide, unless his goal is hiding.
Remembering was the initial, yes. That's really about that instinct, yes. Remembering, smelling, feeling, whatever, like.
That's really interesting. So you're trying to you're tapping your spidey sense. Because I'm not sure how far over we can cross between just like normal skill use and something that's more magical.
Yeah.
But I really like this remembering thing. Because I'm thinking it would be like a scout role.
Yeah. That's what I was kind of picturing.
Do you have a scout?
Yep.
Yes.
I have scout 4.
Yeah, so I would say the scout would be used.
Mm-hmm.
I like how you are sort of coloring it. So I would say that it would be a scout role, because I think that's kind of like what you use to check stuff out.
Okay, cool.
But also, I mean, there's so many different ways that this can happen. There's hunter to try to find, like prey,
That's
like what like things about like a like prey would be.
I want to avoid, like I want us to skedaddle.
Well, so if he doesn't, does he have hunter?
I have hunter.
You
I
have
have hunter
hunter.
2. I have scout 4.
So what hunter would do is, if you rolled well enough, it would allow you to know what the creature's descriptors are if we get into a conflict with it, and thus make good choices about what kind of conflict to get into with it. That maybe it's a creature that's really good in a chase them down conflict, but not really good at riddles, and so we'd want to riddle with it or something like that.
And that's hunter, you said, Chuck?
That's hunter. Oh, I don't know what is the one that allows you to do that. Is it scout or is it hunter, or is it dungeoneer?
Hunter allows you to I think it is
Let's not
there's
get
definitely
too.
a skill that lets you do that.
yeah, hunters may read the aspects of a creature's nature. Make a versus test between hunter and the creature's nature. Success indicates that they may discover a descriptor, weapon, or their might. Yeah. Otherwise, use the factors below, which would be stalking or setting a trap or ambushing. But
So
yeah, but this
since he was talking about remembering, can he tap his nature to add his nature into his hunter roll?
Yes, he can. And that's awesome. Yeah, we can do that for sure. Shit, haven't done this in a while.
Sanj, are you following what's going on? I don't want to. I'll shut up
Nope.
now and let you make your own decisions. I just was trying to get the possibilities out on the list.
Yeah, hunters may read the aspects of a creature's nature and make a versus test between the hunter. Success indicates that they may discover a descriptor, weapon, or their might otherwise use the factor. Okay, that's cool. That kind of fits like the idea of sensing its like maybe ancestors, my like elven voices that walk down here remember like, oh, that's Hathor Vash's lieutenant. Be careful.
Yeah.
And then there's also the question of whether you want to channel your nature. This is on page 67.
Yeah.
By spending a persona point, you can add your current nature dice to a skill rating for one test. And so it makes you, and you'd made a really good case for why this was remembering. So that would allow you to roll all of your nature dice in addition to whatever your hunter is.
All right, let's do it.
But it's going to cost you your persona point.
You gotta win some to lose some. Come on.
So then, so he within his nature, he can also, you guys can also channel your nature by not using, by if it's outside your nature descriptors. But the only thing is that if you act outside, if you channel your nature, channeling outside of your nature and you fail the test, your character's nature is temporarily taxed by the margin of failure.
Yeah, that's
so your sense of self becomes reduced.
And that tax goes away when you camp?
Let's see, recovering nature during respite, which is at the end of like a sort of like a year at the end, during winter. If you deliver a prologue and you don't have any conditions, you can recover tax nature. If you miss a session of an ongoing game, you can opt to recover 1 point of tax nature. And when leaving town and making a lifestyle test, if you pass the test and have no conditions, you recover 1 point of tax nature.
Interesting. So it's not
Yep.
easy to get rid of.
Nope. Okay. Well, there's instinct slash nature slash hunter 101. Yeah, so let's do it, Sanj. Your instinct is triggered.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I click on. So what are the mechanical things that I do now? Hello?
You want to share
Okay.
your screen so we can actually all watch you do this? Because I've never seen this happen either.
Yeah, sure. Where's? Oh no, I can't because I'm on two different devices. I'm on my.
Understood.
Okay, so do I click nature and then?
Nope. You're gonna. It's a hunter test.
Okay, click hunter. And then using nature. Use nature. Okay.
Yep.
Boom. And is there any button for triggering an instinct? No. Okay, so I got 5 dice. And what's the obstacle? 3?
You also have fresh.
Okay. Oh yeah, I have fresh.
And you can also opt to use a trait beneficially.
So I did say like firstborn, Yeah, I'm gonna use that. That's cool. Nice.
Yeah.
So, and the obstacle is 3.
Now, make sure that I have to change the obstacle. Make sure that the successes here is 0. I'm going to take that off for you. That's added successes.
Okay.
So
under other modifiers, is that where he does both the trait and the fresh? Sorry.
I'm gonna grab a coffee real quick.
Other modifiers is where I'm putting fresh.
Gotcha.
And there should be trait though. Where's
Yeah,
where's
yeah,
Trin?
I've
Oh,
got-
it's at the very
it's at
top of the list.
For self, yeah, at the top.
Oh, right. Got
I
it.
got
Yeah.
it all. I got it all, dude. I got it all.
Cool, 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 cool. Awesome. So let me see.
What's the ob? And what's the failure? And what's success?
You are checking out this creature, right?
Yeah.
Creature slash creatures, question
Yeah.
mark. You're
Totally see
gonna
it like Lord of the Rings, Legolas or
Yeah.
Aragorn hearing the voices of the ancestors. There is an ill wind in the air.
Okay, actually, yeah, the obstacle is 3. Although it is actually versus. It's a versus test.
Okay.
And wait, let me just double check that, make sure it's versus and that's not just the ob.
And we can't offer helping die in any way here, can we? Like aside
you-
from using nature.
If you have a similar instinct, you can.
Instinct. Uh-huh. Okay.
Because they're basically just popping off on their own.
Gotcha.
It's just something that you instinctively do.
Gotcha. So skills don't apply here. It would
I got
have
the-
to be if my instinct was triggered too.
That's correct.
Right.
Okay,
I can
cool.
see the color now. It's just that when it gets dark, every other sense in my elven nature just like pops off, and the voices come louder, like in the dream world, and you can see my eyes sort of close, and well, you can't see me, but in the camera, like the camera sees me with my eyes closed and I swaying, and I'm opening them, and there's like a greenish light to me, and I'm actually picturing something from the past as I rolled a friggin' dice.
Wait, hold on. I
Yeah.
do have to ding you for darkness, unless
Good
someone
point.
wants to light a torch.
We can't. This is all happening instantaneously.
Yeah.
It's on instinct, so there's no time to light a torch.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe we can.
no,
I don't
let's
know.
keep it
I
real.
had thought
Keep it
that I
real.
thought that you were going to make it a contest for us to even light a torch because you said there's still a wind and it's going to be difficult to light the torch.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
the wind is out. If someone that wants to light a torch doesn't have a tinderbox, they'd have to roll, I think it's survivalist. If someone
okay.
does have a tinderbox, wait, what did I just say? If someone does have a tinderbox, they can just light it.
Who has a
I might
tinderbox?
also have to double check. I think it might have to do with like difficult or stressful circumstances is when you have to roll
I have a
without
tinderbox,
a
but
tinderbox.
I'm like, I'm in the moment now. So
He's the one doing it. Does anybody
Okay.
else have a tinderbox?
I do
Can you
not.
check if Hank has a tinderbox?
I don't think he does.
Okay, so our tinderbox person is busy doing things. So
Yeah, and that's fine.
and that's fine. This is what the game is like. This is great.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's roll it.
So let's
So-
just so there's no I'm trying to find where there's for darkness. There's for dim light, but there's no darkness. So let's take off that the other modifiers. That one die down at the bottom.
Yeah.
We'll take that off just to call that neutralized.
Okay.
Oh,
And,
I'm doing it.
Back to seven. Okay, there you go.
Is this a versus roll or is it against an ob?
It's a versus roll.
So it's versus 3, did you say?
Yep.
Okay.
Eric, I'm going to click dim
No.
light as well as
No.
-1 success.
I think it's since it's darkness, it's just -1 die.
Okay, cool. All right. Here we
And
go.
if I'm wrong, then Merry
So are you
Christmas.
going to roll and I'm going to roll, or we roll together? Or?
I think you just roll it.
I think the system rolls for it because you clicked for the thing.
Okay.
What's it say?
Yes. 4 successes. Sweet.
Wow. Nice.
Okay. So, cool. Tell me what
That's
happened.
incredible.
All right. Let's see.
So I
Okay, so
use
you can discover a descriptor, a weapon, or their might. So weapons, this means like for like a conflict. So a weapon is anything, any advantage that they have. It can be like a literal weapon, or it can be some kind of like natural feature, or it can be like a magical ability or something.
Mhm.
So you can find out, yeah. So you can find out their might, a weapon, or one of their descriptors. And I'm just gonna say one more thing. Generally, you guys have a might of 3. Actually, everyone on their in their ability section changed their might to 3.
Mhm.
Adventurers are might 3. Normal people are might 2. And then some other monsters and stuff have lower might. Some monsters have higher might, and that kind of gives you an idea of what you can even attempt to kill, etc. What you can drive off. But if you have a higher might than your opponents in a conflict, you get +1 success on a successful roll against them. So
Okay,
having
so
a higher
mine
might is
wasn't
definitely awesome.
filled in. I went and filled in might and put it at 3.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, what happens?
All right, yeah,
So I-
Sanj. So, yeah, you want a weapon? I would say don't choose a weapon. I'd say
Yeah.
a descriptor or their might.
Your choice. You tell me. I don't care.
Oh, well, what is Allendale really trying to zero in on?
yeah.
The
Question.
Like in
might.
story terms,
The might. Like descriptor. Descriptor's cooler. I think descriptor.
Descriptor is cooler.
Yeah. Yeah. Visually, I
Um,
pictured it, and I was trying to imagine something. Yeah.
I think because you're sort of like picturing sort of
Seeing things. Yeah.
psychedelic shit, right?
Yeah.
So, hmm. Let's go right for it. One of their descriptors is slaying the living.
A great evil lies yonder. Its true nature is slaying the living. Quickly, we must hide. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
Can I
scary?
do a thing as a response to my moment from where we left off?
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
So
you guys never have to ask to role play, tell a story. Just say what you're gonna do. Unless I really need to rein you in, I'll interrupt. So yeah, by all
okay.
means, go ahead.
So when Nullsworth fell, and I'm assuming the brazier toppled over.
Sure.
So in the hand that had the candle, he reaches in and grabs. You're gonna tell me what's in there, but I'm looking for a piece of coal or some ashes, like whatever's there, and just kind of grab it and scoop it up in my hand.
It's what feels like a solid coal or something at first, with like an ashy sort of coating to it.
Yeah.
You grab it, but it crumbles
Into dust, basically.
into dust. Yeah, like an ash.
Okay.
Like somewhat sort of still kind of like there's like an oiliness to it a little bit, but it's ash, like an oily sort of ash.
Okay. And that was supposed to be me like, hey guys, I found the stuff that's useful. And yeah, nothing.
Cool.
Great. That's great. So knowing that you called up that it's here to slay the living. I agree with you that we should attempt a drive off conflict or a flee conflict.
Well, tell me what you guys do first. Don't invite conflicts. I mean, unless you really want to do it, which I'm fine with. But yeah, just tell me what you guys do.
Is there a door we can close to keep it from getting to us?
There are no doors.
Got it.
They're just open archways.
Okay, and it's coming from the direction we came from.
Yeah.
Got it. So we could simply there are other ways out of here. Is that right?
Yep. There's one other opening.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go down that passageway.
I want to.
I think we need to light a torch.
I want to
Oh, so
talk
I
to
can-
it. I want to ask it, who are you? What is your purpose?
We know enough about what it wants to do. It wants to slay the living.
And you hear
Hmm.
more, footsteps, and they now sound like there's more than one. Kind
Oh,
of
shit.
stepping at once.
Okay.
Not fast, but
Yeah.
coming, into the chamber. You guys are more or less in the center of this big chamber.
Yeah.
So there
Okay.
may be, 40 feet away.
Okay.
This is a
50
ritual
feet.
cleansing chamber, right? Isn't there maybe if we do the ritual, we can cleanse it of the undead? I don't know.
Footsteps coming into the chamber. It's
Let's
fucking
go.
pitch black.
Mm.
Yeah.
What's
I got my
happening?
tinderbox and I light
We
my
need someone to-
Sister Cadigan, you're the leader.
Yeah. I'm losing names. I'm sorry. So Ellendil, we need a torch lit now.
Yeah.
And I heard a suggestion that we could run that ritual of cleansing. The ritual is something that takes 30 seconds, or it takes 10 minutes, or it takes an hour.
Yeah, you would know that this is like a long ritual.
Oh, okay.
There's chanting and there's rites and there's like cleansing and there's like,
Never mind.
then there's the lunch break. Like, it's it's not just a boom, like, magical ritual. Yeah, so Cadigan is like, we need a torch lit, we need to move.
Yeah.
So I got
Yeah.
a tinderbox in my belt pouch. And I strike it against my torch and and hurry the party. Like, I kind of wait at the entrance to that hallway leading north, and I'm like, hurry, quick, down this way.
Great. We're gonna manage a retreat through that way, making sure no one gets left behind, making sure no one trips and falls in the darkness. I'm marking that we now have a torch lit.
Mhm.
As of the start of, and you've marked in your inventory that we're spending a torch.
Yeah, so I'm down to no. So I had 4 torches last session. Do I have 3 now?
You have 1 in your hand, and you have 2 in your pack.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so are you gonna go into this next chamber?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now you're hastily coming into this chamber. It's smaller than the one that you were just in, and where the one that you were just in was sort of like, if you're looking at like north and south, it's sort of like vertically oriented, and the door you're coming through is at the top of it. The next chamber is kind of like horizontal. And
Okay.
across the way is another corridor, another wide corridor.
Mhm.
And you come into this, and the light illuminates most of the chamber. So the walls and ceiling, they're like
Domed?
vaulted ceilings.
Cool.
And they're the sort of like the ribs of the vaults are all bones. And there's an aisle that runs along the center of the chamber, and there are it's sort of like a church type of a situation. There are on like along both sides of the both walls there are like goblets and vases and like urns and jars and all kinds of stuff. And let's see.
And this is off to the left, right?
No.
I think you just have to keep a list. You don't have to worry about right and left. You just have to keep a list of the rooms we visited.
Okay. What should we call this room?
Vault vault of bones, or ribs of vaulted bone. I don't know. It's a sanctuary. So the first was a room of purification. This is the sanctuary. With
I'll call
great
it
ribs.
Sanctuary Vault.
Yeah. When you say it has bones as the vaulting, Eric, are you saying that these are giant like dinosaur or mammoth ribs or something like that because they're way
No,
too big to be human, or there are lots of tiny human ones that have been chained together?
they're like long human bones, like femurs or like, like arm bones and stuff.
Got it. So it's not one
Um,
long bone that goes all the way up to the top, but a whole series of them.
no, yeah, and when I said like ribbed vault, it's like an architectural thing.
It is.
Yeah, so yeah, that's what I meant. That's a good question though. There might be some human rib bones up there.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of church-like in here. And so there's this like sort of like long kind of like pathway, up, through the middle of the room, and it leads up to what looks like some kind of like sarcophagus. And that's what you see without giving more in-depth investigation.
Okay. Do we still hear the slow steps of the dead behind us?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Oh shit.
All right. Do we see enough furniture in here that we could pile it up against the entrance to try to prevent them from coming in?
Maybe slow them down, but not really. I'd say not really. Did anyone look when the torch was lit? Did you guys look into the arch, into the doorway to see what these things were?
Oh, yes. I would like to know it. I will. You know who really wants to know here is Peter. Really wants to have seen them. Am I right?
Yeah.
Hank, sorry.
Yeah. You're basically looking at what is like running up behind Peter on his Zoom background.
Okay. Lovely.
What?
There's three of them,
Skeletons.
and they have one one of them is holding a battle axe, sort of like kind of like almost like dragging it. One has a spear, and one has a sword and shield. And they are kind of like they're wearing what looks like just sort of like rusted, decayed chainmail. It's just sort of like shreds of it, and old like tunics that would go over armor. And around each of their necks, you can't see what it is, but it like torchlight like reflects off of something shiny around each of their necks. And they're kind of just like sort of coming, yeah, Pete.
The furniture that we talked about potentially putting against the door that you said wasn't big enough to block it is first of all, was there that furniture?
There are shelves along the walls, like wide shelves along the wall.
And what material are they made of?
Let's see. Wood, old wood. Are you investigating? Are you looking up, looking into them?
Well, the idea I have is to. I feel like there's no time to investigate. My plan is to shove whatever shelves into the doorway and light them up.
Yeah.
Light them on fire.
Yeah. Is that
Okay.
I guess I can sort of bring that up to the party.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You guys have a moment to sort of be like, what the, what's
Yeah.
going on? Yeah, talk about it, guys.
hey guys, what do you think
So-
about like just blocking off the doorway with these shelves and like light that up? We have fire with us right now, so it's like, it's something we can use.
I'm all for it.
Let's
As long as we
do
don't
that.
get smoked in.
I'd like
Um,
to let's do that as a backup. I think I have a plan to drive them off with an invocation that will show them the mockery that is their undead existence.
Awesome.
I have no idea if I have the power to do this, but we'll see if it works.
Yeah, you do.
So there is there's an invocation called Fury of the Lords of Life and Death. It says that I don't have the relic for it. I also don't have the sacramental, which is holy water. Does that mean I cannot do it, or it just
Nope.
means I don't have a bonus for it?
You don't have a bonus.
All right.
Yeah, sacramentals are synonymous with the spell materials that the
Got it.
magician uses.
Got it.
Where is my book?
Nullsworth finds the least disrespectable corner of this chamber and urinates.
Actually, maybe you can start pulling the furniture over so that we're set to go. If this doesn't work, we'll see. All right.
Okay, let's see. Fury of the Lords of Life and Death. Great. All right, so you're gonna get a immortal burden equal to the
3 because I don't have the relic. Is that correct?
right.
Where do I mark that on my sheet?
There's magic and
Oh, okay, magic. Got it.
or
I
yeah,
see
there's
it.
Erd and burden.
Okay. So I should mark 3 matches on it because I don't have if I had the relic, it would only cost 2. Is that correct?
Right. Let me just double check.
Okay.
Honestly, like in all my playing of this game, no one has done an invocation.
Oh, wow.
How many sessions have you run, Eric?
A bunch.
Like campaigns? Yeah.
Yeah, like short campaigns.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's such a new game to me, like even though it's been around for so long.
Yeah, like I think this was I went to Torchbearer before Burning Wheel. I mean playing with you guys was my first Burning Wheel experience.
Right.
But yeah, I did a good bit of that Stone Dragon Mountain thing that I told you guys about.
Oh yeah. All right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So
God.
Immortal Burden. Invoking divine mystical power disturbs the natural order and creates spiritual impurities, knots in the skein of destiny. We call this impure state the Immortal Burden. Performing invocations adds to your burden. Okay, so Immortal Burden starts at 0. When performing an invocation, increase your burden by the amount listed for it. Okay. Use the number before the slash if you do not have a relic for this invocation, and the number after it if you do possess the relic. Okay. Yep, that's what we knew. We just wanted to make sure.
And what do I start with as my Erd, my capacity to carry divine burden?
Let's see. I'm looking at that right now.
Yeah, because I don't currently have anything marked down on the sheet, and I know that's wrong.
Yeah. It should be telling me. Okay. Your burden, if your burden is equal to less than your well, what's your start at?
It might list it under levels. Maybe it's something. Ah, my erd starts at 1.
Okay.
So I'm going to take stigmata for this. As my I've got the Skull of St. Barnabas and the bone knitting needles, and neither of those is useful for this particular thing. Okay.
Okay. So don't worry about the stigmata yet, because you can, like, when your burden exceeds your erd, you do there's something that happens.
Okay.
You're gonna test health
Got it.
against your total burden. So we'll get to that after we do
Okay.
the
Right.
the thing. Okay. Okay, so you're gonna test your ritualist, right?
Yep. And I
Let
don't
me
think
see.
there's what can be used for help on that. It's possible to get help on this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Helping invocation rituals. So checking my ritual list, and what are the skills that can be used for this ritualist?
Ritualist can be helped by
Theologian.
ritualist.
I'm the only theologian. You don't know anything about God, do you?
Yeah, does anybody have theologian?
Nothing. Never
I have
learned the nature of
scholar,
the.
lawmaster.
Okay,
Never
well, let's
studied the
see.
Lords. Never studied the immortal lords.
Arcanist,
That's all right.
alchemist.
That's all right.
I would imagine a necromancer uses a form of alchemy to help him create the undead. Maybe.
Well, you don't really create the undead. Okay, so ritualist, help theologian or ritualist. As the GM, I can allow one other skill.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say that since Lucky Skooky is a necromancer by school,
That's right.
that your lore master can help.
Okay. Cool.
So
Perfect. I will
yeah,
definitely help.
Okay. All right. So
Now, if we help in this game, unlike the Burning Wheel, we're not getting a test, right?
that's
Nope.
right. Okay. And what is the this particular one, Fury of the Lords of Life and Death? How do I figure out what the difficulty is, what the ob is?
Okay, let me look.
Oh, it's the nature of each target. It's a versus test between my ritualist skill and the nature of each target. Roll ritualist once. When comparing results against the target, the theurge suffers -1 success to the result for each rank by which the sub-target's might exceeds theirs.
Okay, luckily it doesn't.
Okay.
Let's see. The nature of each target. Roll rituals once. Okay. Okay. So, you've got you have traits. Actually, I'm going to uncheck the beneficial use of Touch by the God, unless you're using it right now. Did you decide to use it right now?
Didn't just use it, so I'm going to undo it. Got it. So yeah, can I use Defender since I'm defending my allies?
Sure, yeah, either one.
Okay. All right.
And you can, so you're gonna click your ritualist.
Okay. Clicking ritualist. This is a versus test. I am using a trait. I'm also fresh, and I am getting help.
Yep.
At the moment, I have 6 dice against the opponent's 3 dice. Are each of them going to roll separately? You'll roll for the second one or the third one separately from the. I'll just roll for the first one in this contest, or are they all a group?
It says they can make a versus test between your ritual skill and the nature of each target. So you roll once, and I roll for each of these guys.
Yeah, you roll for each of them. So I think one of them will be automatically rolled in my test, and then you'll roll for additional ones separately.
Yep.
That sounds right. Do I want to use? I can't use a trait against myself if I'm also using it for myself. So here I go. All right, sounds good. All right, I got 6 dice. Hopefully we can drive these creatures away. The lords of life and death have set strict boundaries between the living and the dead. You are abominations and violations. Begone.
You get okay. All right. So
I had 3 successes, and the one that I rolled for had a 2.
okay. I don't know how to roll dice on here. How do you roll dice on 20?
You can roll them in on the main page. At the bottom, there's a little menu that comes down along the left-hand edge, and dice are one of the options. You can pull up dice and roll a certain number of d6, 3d6. Do you want me to roll for you, or do you want to do it yourself?
I got it. I found it.
Great.
Okay, so D6, and these are the different numbers of them I can roll?
That's right, the number of d6 you want.
Okay. All right, so 1 success on the second guy, and no successes on none.
Shit.
Okay. Okay, so what happens here? Okay, this invocation causes any undead who see the theurge to flee their presence. Targets of this invocation must have somewhere to flee from the one who terrorizes them. If backed into a corner or attacked as they flee, they turn and violently attack the theurge. The effect of this invocation lasts for 2 turns. The victims flee and then slink back to their old haunt-driven group. This invocation affects only creatures of the undead type. So it worked on all of them. They sort of like, they're wobbly anyway, so they kind of like, they're kind of trying to come forward, but they're just sort of like being like, kind of like turned away, and their jaws are just like
clack, clack, clack.
Yeah, just clack, 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 and they're sort of like kind of like swinging around, but they're like, at the same time they're turning around and going back into that corridor, away from, further down the corridor, the place where you guys hadn't gone down into, and you hear them just like clack, clack, clang, 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 and you hear their hard footsteps, echoing down that chamber.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And that supposedly lasts for the duration there is 2 turns. So in 2 turns, they can come bug us again if they want to.
Yep.
Cool.
All right.
So we're totally freaked out and like awed by your spiritual presence. Your eyes blazed with the power of the gods. And what do you want to do, guys? This is madness.
There's the walls are covered in goblets and vases and urns. Surely some of these must be of value, or maybe simply of valued historians.
Thank you.
Were there exits from this room, or was this a room without exits?
Directly across from the corridor that you came in, is another equally sized and shaped.
And there's also a sarcophagus.
Yep.
Yeah, let's look in the sarcophagus.
Let
But
me
Yeah, that seems like a
But
good way
this
to
is
get into
not doing
trouble.
anything to help the child, by the way. That's actually like, poor kid. Whatever.
let me get this the doodle. How do we open the whiteboard?
I
Oh,
want to hear.
that's
I
here
wanna
in
hear from Hank and Peter, man.
Zoom.
Yeah, I'm working on. Let's see where.
Or wait, I
is
think
it?
I can click it. New whiteboard, existing whiteboards.
Yeah,
Perfect.
there you go, whiteboards.
Torchbearer. Okay.
Oh God! By the
Collaborating.
way, I saw a lot of undead in freaking Denver today. Holy shit! Like these fucking fentanyl addicts. It's disgusting.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
geez.
brutal
God.
out there.
It is so nasty.
I thought you just were going to be making a joke about all the pot smoking, but you're talking about
No,
some serious drugs.
like a stream of addicts. Like, ugh.
Yeah,
Wow.
don't leave your homes, folks. It's brutal out there.
Okay, so here's this was the place, the purification chamber.
Sure.
Yeah, good drawing.
And here's where the bony guys were that just left that way.
Ah,
Okay.
gotcha.
And here's where you came in through the whole place. You just
Yeah.
ran in through here and kind of like this sarcophagus. And along these walls are like these, the shelving.
All right.
It's stacked with
kinda-
bones.
Up this way is kind of like a walkway.
Got it.
And this is like the sarcophagus, sort of like somewhat of an altar looking kind of a thing. Yeah, so you can in this, your torchlight, it's some kind of open, bigger open chamber that you can't, that you haven't.
I think
I
we
want
should
to
open
go
the
through those
sarcophagus.
shelves and look for books on magic.
At first glance, there are no
It's bones, right?
there are no books. It's all urns, just all different sorts of vessels.
Right. Do they smell like they had like unguents and frankincense and myrrh and the kinds of things that you use to wrap a dead body in before burying it?
Well,
I'm gonna go through them anyway because maybe there are
Yeah.
spell components in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Knowlesworth did not even check in with you guys. He's rummaging.
Can you take off the share screen of the whiteboard because I can't see you guys.
Sure.
Cool.
Hopefully, when we go back, that'll still be there. We have no idea if it'll still be there. I don't know how good these are at remembering things. Not complaining because I do like to be able to see the faces.
So go
Erica,
for it, guys.
you're looking
do your
something up, I
thing. Do
think.
your actions.
Let me just look. I just need to make sure I got my head around what's going on.
Yeah, that's the problem with modules, right? There's so much like reading to know what's going on in the rooms. I hate playing with modules. Like me as a GM, I find it so stressful. In the moment, I'm like, what paragraph am I? Like, gonna just make it up in the end.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that like I don't like botch like things that are important to certain cool things that happen too.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
My-
exactly what's hard about it.
My impression when we walked in the room, I thought you described some sort of light as we walked in. Did I catch that wrong? No?
I think
it's
you
just
did,
dark.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he said that it was my torchlight that
Oh, okay.
lit up the whole space because of its
Gotcha.
narrowness.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys are checking out these urns and jars and stuff. They're just filled with sand. Even goblets. They look like they had some sort of like liquid in them, but like there's just some, just kind of half filled with sand.
Weird.
Mm. I'm looking at the sarcophagus. Is it sealed shut, or is the door, is the lid sort of ajar, or? Nolsworth. And Skooky, come here, check this out.
Yeah, I will. I'll see if there's any. Is there any writing on the sarcophagus?
There isn't. Oh, well, there is, but before that, like as you're walking up this sort of like pathway, up through the middle of the room, you notice that there are these really big, like large scale symbols in the floor.
Ooh,
Mm.
Oh.
Lore Master.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely tiptoeing around them.
You're not gonna jump on them?
This is how you do hopscotch in Dungeons and Dragons. All right.
Chuck, do you have Lore Master? I forget if both the Theurge and the Magician do.
I think only I have Theologian and
I have
the
Lore Master
Magician
too.
has. Yes. Who
Right,
was
okay.
it that just said they had it?
Three.
Was that Sanj?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got it to 3.
cool. I will defer
Yes.
to your
So-
wisdom.
So yeah, I
I
think
definitely
I
want
think
to
it makes sense to
examine
try to figure out what these mean. So as your leader, I authorize you to do an investigation of these drawings.
I will make that charge. I will do it.
So
Anyone want to
Here's-
help me? Anyone have knowledge of symbols or what other? I guess we're limited to these skills. Would scholar be something they could be forked in?
Okay, let me see. You're using Lore Master.
remember, you're not forking; it's just help.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you
I can
can't.
help with Lore Master.
Okay, so that's directly help. That's great. So we have
Yeah,
one
so
help.
Lore Master is helped by Arcanist and Theologian, and
Okay.
Lore Master. Yeah, and Lore
Okay,
Master.
so
also.
theologian's also relevant. I do have theologian, so I will help with my knowledge of the theology of the lords of life and death and other topics.
So that's other modifiers, dice 1.
no,
And-
that would be fresh.
And
You
the
get-
ob is 4.
Okay.
Wow, the ob is 4. That is.
So Hank, do you want to? I think help.
While you
is
guys talk about who's helping and what, I'm gonna grab a drink.
okay, great. So Hank, do you want to show your screen so we can? Because I think help
Oh,
is
yeah.
its own category.
Peter, do you have anything to help?
Do I have any what?
Nulsworth? I meant Nulsworth.
Oh,
No. Yeah, pretty useless in this situation.
I want to get you in there, man. You got to do some stuff now.
I feel like in
I
this
think-
particular moment, like I'm kind of trying to use the moment that the eyes are off me to sort of, look for anything of value.
Get in trouble.
Mm.
So you.
I'm thinking
so-
of using thoughtful as one of my traits.
Explain.
I'm just gonna try to sit there and take my time and think about this and think if I've seen patterns like this in the past. I'm gonna compare it to my study of the runes when we entered the barrow. So I'm just gonna take my time. Is that how thoughtful works?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will click on using traits for self. And
click on-
Can I ask really quick? What was the spell that you have in your memory palace?
it's what do we call it here?
Wisdom of the Sages.
Yeah, wisdom of the sages. That's it. Sorry. Let
Do
me
you know
see
what
if I
that
can
does?
use that. I did. Let me look it up again. It was on 188, if I remember correctly. No? Lightness of being. Demonic super save.
It's on 191.
191. Okay. 191.
It turns out that it actually won't help you here, but
Right. Yeah.
but you just keep in mind that you gotta boot it up.
Right. Okay. A script with the true name of the sage. Okay. So let's see. I'm not going to spend a persona. Oh, help or aid. That's what I'm going to get. I'm getting one help.
No,
So not
you're getting
other
two. You're
modifier.
getting two help, Peter.
Two
Hank?
help. Okay.
Yeah, because theologian, it turns out, also helps. There we go. All right, that looks pretty good.
It's out
Yeah, I
for.
think that's it.
Oh, wait. Now you should have fresh marked down under other modifiers. Because we're still fresh.
Oh, Chuck, make sure you
Okay.
mark a pass, Chuck, for your
Got it.
ritualist.
We also have to take care of my situation, my health, my
Oh,
stigmata.
right. We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that after this roll. Sanj, make sure that you mark a pass for your hunter.
I did.
This
Okay,
is
cool.
against op 4, right?
Yep.
Ooh.
I rolled like shit.
Nah, that's going to happen.
What'd you get?
2 successes.
So this gives me a
Hmm.
failure for lore master, right?
Yep.
Does.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Well, I won't be choosing that. Okay, so you are now sick. Your dice failed, but I can allow you to get the success if I give you a condition. You're sick. Your mind is just unhinged right now.
Wow.
But it allows you to understand that these symbols represent the 9 grades of illumination on the path to becoming an immortal.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's like just mind warping, really serious.
Necromantic magic. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool.
Well, powerful magics are my birthright. I'm going to make sure to study this.
All right. So,
When I'm done chewing, I'm going to explain something about skills and gear.
okay. Do you want to tell us what condition that you just gave him? Was that what's that called? Is that sick?
That
What
was sick.
condition is- Okay. And what condition do the people who helped get?
Oh, that is a good question.
What's that Led Zeppelin song? Sick Again?
Usually we get a lesser condition like hungry and thirsty, or I don't know what's lesser than sick. I'm not good with that.
Yeah, you guys just get you guys get hungry and thirsty.
Okay. So we've lost fresh. One of us is still
Yep.
fresh.
Okay.
Yeah. So that happened. Can we take this share screen off? Oops, no, I don't want to leave meeting.
Can you stop sharing your screen, Peter or Hank?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. So, you got sick, and And so whoever was hungry and thirsty can eat or drink and recover.
Right.
What I was going to say about skills and gear. So you've got all the stuff that's in your inventory, and those are like, useful extra tools, weapons and whatever else. But your skills imply that you have with you the stuff needed to use the skills. So on top of the stuff that's in your pack, like you're carrying a bunch of other shit. So armor, you would have tools, like a little like armor, like little tinkering tools and stuff.
Right.
If you have scholar, you have parchment and ink. If you have cartographer, you have similar stuff like that too. Survivalist, you might have like a little shovel or like a bunch of little cook has you've got pots and like all that kind of stuff. So you guys just remember that you have the tools to do all your skills.
Right.
And if you
But you can
fail,
take those away from us.
yes, as a twist, as a twist, I can take away those tools. So the next time you try to use them without replenishing those tools, you're down a die.
Got it.
Okay.
So just keep in mind that you have all, you don't just have the stuff that's in your inventory. Scholars have paper and shit. And criminal, you might have like string or oil or dust, like just
Cool.
you can be
Speaking of-
creative with that stuff.
Speaking of that, Eric, I am going to take out my paper and pen and everything, and I am gonna copy these symbols because this powerful magic excites me.
Okay, there's a couple of consequences we need to deal with before we get
Yeah.
to our next actions.
Okay.
Yes.
So the first thing that happens is, well, actually, there's a couple of things. You've owed me for a little while the consequence of my of that spell I cast, the invocation I cast. I just
Yep.
I've got some kind of stigmata, presumably. And then the other thing I should take note of is we've just gone through turn 4 on the grind.
Right.
And so I believe we're about to all lose fresh, and we're all going to be hungry and thirsty.
Cool. But there's an additional, like either you or I, Chuck, we take hungry and thirsty from the failed roll of helping,
From the failed
right?
roll. Yeah.
And then we escalate to angry.
Do we have a chance to eat before that happens, or is that too fast? I imagine it is too fast.
Ooh, damn. That it might be too fast.
Yeah. Because we just turned away the skeletons, are still out there, and we have to check this sarcophagus.
Right. So
All right.
it is on. It's as 4 turns over into 5, we all get a new condition, and if we already are hungry and thirsty, then we get angry. Is that correct?
I think the next one is angry.
Yeah, it's the next
I
one on
don't
the
think
sheet.
it's-
That's how they run in that order.
Let's do your burden thing first.
Okay, burden.
And I know that they're on the print, at least they're on the print sheet not in the right order. So because it's supposed to keep you on your toes. So we'll check the condition order that they fall in. But you've got your immortal burden. And okay, so your burden is, let's see, Cadigan magic. Okay, so you've got your Erd is 1 and your burden is 3.
3.
And let's see, so the weight of the burden, when a third exceeds their Erd, they feel the weight of their total burden immediately after the invocation, whether the ritual was successful or not. Follow this procedure. Okay, so you're going to test health against an obstacle equal to your current total burden.
Got it. So it's not against the margin of that it was above my Erd, but it's against the whole 3. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm testing health against an obstacle of 3. This is going to
Yep.
be bad.
And you can, I would say that you could, you know, you still got 2 uses of touched by the gods, don't forget.
True. So just to be clear, this is a flat obstacle of 3, independent roll against 3 rather than a versus roll
Yep.
against 3 dice. Okay. So I could use touched by the gods.
I'd say so, yeah.
Okay.
You're sort of supplicating them to please
To help
go
me with
easy on
this.
you this time.
Got it. This was important. I can't get help from people. I was fresh at the time when this happened, so I can get the fresh die again.
Yep.
So that's 6 dice against 3, which isn't terrible. And that's about it. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and roll to find out what happens. That was 1 success on 6 dice. What
Wow.
a terrible bunch of bastard traitors those dice were.
Jeez.
Oh
All
boy.
right. So, yeah, what does she, this burden is too much for Cadigan to bear, and she, uh, and she feels this burning, and there's a kind of stigmata. Her forehead is shining, and you start to see the outline of horns on her forehead, as her as the gods burn at her, away her flesh. And what does she say?
Wow. You also get conditions.
What's that?
You're also going to get conditions, but
I'm gonna
but
get
go
conditions.
ahead.
Yeah. So I will bear this burden so the rest of you don't have to. That's what she says.
Cool.
And you earned this from which failed roll earlier?
It's actually from a successful roll. It was the roll that we used to drive the undead away from us. We just neglected
So
to
no
take care
matter
of this
what.
earlier.
Oh shit. Okay.
So what
Yeah,
condition
so-
would she get from that?
So you take conditions. Yes, a failure indicates the third suffers conditions equal to the margin of failure. So that was 2. So at that time,
I
God,
was
it would have
fresh.
at that point you were fresh.
Oh my God.
Then you would have gotten hungry and thirsty,
Got it?
Oh God.
which you would have had time to drink something from.
Right.
So I'll let you have that. So just mark down that you ate something or drank something on
Got
your
it.
inventory.
Done. I already did it, but yeah, good.
And then your crazy stigmata happens. So so the stigmata scale, it looks like you like so if your burden is 3 to 4, did you see this? You looked at this, right?
Tell me what page
Yeah.
you're on.
I think it'd
102.
be exhausted, injured, or sick are all -1 Ds. I don't know actually how it works. Sorry.
No, they're not. Yes, 3 to 4 burden bleeds from the eyes or ears, speaks in tongues, speaks to beasts, limb becomes rigid, etc. I liked your burned, like you said like your forehead was like burned.
Shining, yeah, and like these horns were starting to show through on her forehead.
Cool. Yeah, so it can't be hidden, and you just kind of see this like does it look
Like-
like they're like sort of like kind of like coming out like
that would be great, or just like Klingon sort of ridges just underneath
yeah.
the surface.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
Freaky.
Nullsworth sort of like is like taken back at that, and then he sort of chuckles and he's like, "Hey guys, at least we'll have like some goat meat later if this continues, huh?"
That's funny.
Nice.
And that kind of lightens the tension in the room. So do the rest of us have the condition hungry and thirsty?
Right. So let's go back to this now. So we went from
So just to make sure I'm following what happened to me is I gained hungry and thirsty and then ate something to take care of it.
well, you would have gotten two conditions. So like boom, boom, like at once.
Right at once.
So
And so one of them was hungry and thirsty, and the next one down is, I think, angry.
it would be angry. Yep.
Okay. And then I alleviated the hungry and thirsty by eating something, but I'm still angry.
Yep.
And now I help in this disastrous thing that Hank did.
Yep.
And now we suffer hungry and thirsty again.
Yep.
Wow. So you're angry, hungry, and thirsty, and you've got fucking bridges like
Bridges
bubbling
on
off
that.
of your forehead.
Mhm.
And you're
And
in
I thought
extreme
sick was
pain.
bad, although sick does look really bad.
Sick's gonna suck.
Yeah,
God.
sick is not great. So
Wow.
now Chuck, you're also angry now because of the grind strikes.
Yep.
I actually think so. I think Sanj is angry because of the grind.
Yeah.
Wait, no, what did I
And
say? I meant I think I meant afraid.
I'm afraid because of the grind.
Yep.
But Sanj is angry because of the grind.
Right.
It suits me more.
And Nullsworth is hungry and thirsty because of the grind.
Because of the grind. Yep.
And Hank is hungry and thirsty as well as sick because of the grind.
Got it.
Yeah.
And I'm not hungry and thirsty, as well as angry.
You
are.
are. You're hungry and thirsty and angry.
Yeah. Fuck. Jeez.
I
Minus
presume
five.
I presume taking a swig from my water skin doesn't take up a turn or anything like that.
Nope.
Does it take off the condition or no?
Yep. It takes off the hungry and
Yep,
thirsty condition.
All right.
Yep.
So
Drinking or eating a ration.
Mm.
So I'm going to eat a ration to get rid of my hungry and thirsty.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
And
Interesting.
do I lose all my water? Do I have to chug the whole thing, or is there increments to it, or how does that work?
Wineskins hold 1 draft.
Mm-hmm.
A bottle holds 2, a jug holds 3. So that's why rations are, a thing also.
Mm-hmm.
And
So-
how many rations do you get? I have rations preserved. Do I
3.
only get them once?
You have 3 rations and a ration's preserved.
Oh, okay. So
So
I have
put
2 left if I use them.
That's correct. That's correct.
And
So my water skin is empty now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
and I've removed the hungry and thirsty by that.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Got it.
I'm gonna lower my preserved rations by 1, so from 3 to 2, and I'm keeping my water skin to 2, just in case. And I'm gonna remove
Wait,
the.
your water skin only
skin
holds 1.
Oh, okay. So I didn't drink yet. Okay. Wow. That kind of.
Okay. So some of you guys are a little goofed up.
Yeah.
As Chuck, as you can see on your sheet, something is making it so you can't use your will skills. Is that right?
Afraid is
Oh no, I thought I saw the colors change something here. No, I'm only seeing
they
the skills
did
that you actually
change.
have.
right. That's because I can't use beginner's luck anymore. Because I'm
Oh,
afraid.
okay. So you can't try to use those.
I
Your
can't
zeros.
try
Okay.
those things because I don't have I can't use beginner's luck. So the
Right.
afraid is hurting me, the angry is hurting me. I think we need to get out of here and get to camp and try to recover from some of these conditions. I don't know. This is when this game gets really tough.
Yeah.
No,
So here,
we should look in the sarcophagus. It's like right here.
Mm.
well, okay, let me just explain. So to camp, you need checks, and to get checks, you need to use traits against yourself.
Yep.
That's one thing.
Yeah.
You can leave the dungeon,
True.
and you can go back to town, but then you're going into town,
Oh,
and
we can't do that.
you can recover and
Disastrous.
stuff, but you don't have any money.
Yeah, we don't have any money. Yeah.
I mean, you've got maybe, you might have your trinkets and stuff from character creation. And
Right.
your and your resources are 0. So
I
so,
have
so
a
this
pouch
is
of
where you've
gold
got to
coins.
really make some hardcore decisions, like strategy wise.
What's
Yeah.
Nalsworth's thought?
Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead. Sorry.
I just in my inventory, I have a pouch of gold coins from character creation.
Oh, good.
That's
good.
2 die. That's 2 dice. 2 dice of treasure. But that's only going to help so many of you guys. Well, I mean, at the same time, well, okay, never mind. Town is a whole
guys, listen.
separate thing.
I'm role playing right now. Okay, guys.
Right.
See, like,
Before you do
Evandio-
that, I really wanted to examine those runes and write them down. I never got a chance to do that.
Sure. Well, the first thing that's got to happen is the light's now out. So someone's going to have to light a torch. I will light one of mine.
Okay.
Alondo, so you go ahead and start scribbling your notes down of the thing. Alondo kind of like, it's like, fuck it, we didn't come here all, it's because I'm angry, we didn't come all this whole fucking way just to like, to go back empty-handed. Let's open this crypt. There must be gold in there.
I was hoping you would say that.
Of course you were.
All
I
right.
see your greedy little fingers twitching.
So yeah, that's excellent. Hank, if you want to do this, you got to use your scholar skill to ob2.
Okay. I will do it because this is my jam right here.
Yeah, for sure.
And let's see, what can I add in here? Anyone want to help?
I cannot help because I'm afraid.
I have no skills that are relevant.
All right,
And I'm focused on this goddamn
As
All
am I.
right. I think we need to.
I'm like,
let's stay
Scholar can
focused
be
here.
helped by scholar, lore master, and steward.
And if I wanted to recover from being angry so that I could, or afraid, so that I could use beginners, or so I could help people, that's a round on the grind in order to, is that right?
You can only do it in camp.
I can only do it in camp. Got it.
Unless there's a spell or invocation that I don't know. You can
that's fine.
only recover from in camp.
Got it. Okay.
I'm gonna get -1 to being sick, right?
yeah.
And do I do
die.
that for other modifiers? Is that how I put it in?
Let me see.
-1.
Hank, I think we should wait until we've camped and we're recovered to do this. I think we should smash and grab, but I don't know. Who needs? One person needs to spend a check. Is that right? In order to camp.
Okay. Check or camp. You need at least 1 check to enter camp.
Okay. We do have 1 check, I believe, among us. I think one of us earned a check before. Does somebody have a check earned?
I have a persona point that I spent. Is that a check?
Nope.
No.
It'd be under your traits. On the right-hand column of the traits, there's an opportunity to mark checks. And checks is when you use a trait against yourself.
I did use thoughtful, right? I used
No, that's positive.
No,
Okay,
but we
guys.
used it beneficially.
Hold on. Just hold on. Let me explain.
Sorry, Eric.
I can explain all this to you guys. All right. So traits, you use them positively, you don't get a check. You use them negatively, you get a check. Knowlesworth did this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Last session.
In order to camp, you need checks. To enter camp, you need at least one check in the party. You can only make rolls in camp if you have checks, or if you have an instinct that allows you to do something that that says you can do something in camp. So if you can try to recover in camp, you need a check to do so. So if anyone wants to A, enter camp, or B, do anything in camp, especially recover in camp, you need a check of your own, or if someone has multiple ones, they can give you one.
Right. So it'd be better if we had more checks than we have. But right now, we could enter camp and people could recover from conditions. But it would be better if we had more checks.
Well,
Right,
I
but
could definitely
if one
use a
person
check.
has a check, they have to give that to the person who wants to recover. If there's only one person, like a check equals dice roll.
Each equals a dice roll, including recovery rolls.
Yes.
I think I got you now. Okay, so we need a lot more checks. We haven't been earning nearly enough checks.
Well,
I had
I
a
can
sense
use,
of that.
I'm going to use fiery to trigger another check. To get really impatient and angry about this sarcophagus.
Well,
And you're
before you,
angry, right?
can I get my roll out of the way? I wanted to do this, write down
Okay.
this stuff.
Yeah.
As your leader,
Well-
I want to slow down a little bit. I am concerned about us running through the grind really fast with a lot of rolls that are going to be failing rolls. If it's really important to you, great. But think about whether you want to earn a check while doing it. I think you're almost certainly going to fail this, so it might be a good opportunity to earn a check.
Right.
Yeah, I've said my spit.
Yeah. I'll do it, and I will use a trade against me. So
Yeah, you have a lot, right?
what's that?
You have a lot of traits for this.
I have 2 traits, thoughtful and wizard sight.
Wizard sight.
I'd say the wizard sight's probably the one, because
Yeah.
you're sick. I mean, your brain's fucked up, so
Right.
you
Yeah.
can like be thinking that you're like, oh, I totally understand it, and you don't. Yeah. Did
That's
you
cool.
just check the beneficial use?
So
I think you.
I clicked on it by accident. Okay, I got it. So I want to do a check, right?
Yep.
Okay. And
Okay.
how do I add that in here? I just put under dice -3 now.
Nope. You're gonna. I did it for you. You put an X next to using trait against self, so that.
Oh, gotcha. And I'm -1 dice on the bottom for being sick. Okay, so I'm rolling 0 dice.
What's your scholar?
My scholar
It's
is 3.
supposed to be 3. So 1,
You should
2.
have.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me just experiment with this thing real quick. So it already gives you sick -1.
Oh, yeah. So you don't have to
okay.
separately mark that in.
So you got 1 die against 2.
Here we go.
And hold on 1 sec. So you have a fate point, so you can spend 1 point to re-roll all 6s as new dice. Oh no, you got to use a wise. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll roll. Wow, I actually did get a success.
Okay. So you're trying to do it, but you fail, and you're just your mind is just warped. From understanding what they were, you're just like you're just temporarily unhinged. So like you're just kind of like writing things down, and like the other guys are seeing you, just like you're starting sort of like in the right shape of the symbol, but then like you're just like adding all this other stuff that's not there, and you're like smearing the ink, and you're just like, yeah, that's that one. Like you're muttering and you're talking like, this is exactly, I understand. Like all this. You're just saying all this stuff and you're sort of like speaking some gibberish, some words, and so you can mark a fail on there, and you got to check. And let's see what happens, because I'm not going to give you another condition.
So I did lore master, right? Oh, play mode. I wasn't in play mode. Let me go back there. Lore master.
That was scholar.
Oh, scholar. So I got a fail. Oh, I got an edit mode to mark
No,
the fail.
you're sick, so you can't advance your skills.
Oh shit.
Oh, gotcha.
Damn.
That is bad.
Interesting.
Woo, dog. Okay. Hold on. Let's see.
But in a truly Lovecraftian moment, you write a bunch of gibbering nonsense in your notebook, which is great.
Yeah, you're right. When you're sick, you can't advance your skills. Interesting.
That's freaking cool.
All right. So Hank, you're kind of like pacing up and down this path. You're like scrawling and scribbling and stuff. And there's the torchlight, but like you look up into the next corridor, haven't gone into yet, and you see flickering lights just sort of like just moving around like in the darkness.
Nice.
Looks like what could be kind of like a couple of candle
Fireflies?
lights.
I'll let Sister Cadigan know.
Sister Cadigan's having a hard time holding it together. All right. So I believe now that Elendil had a task that he wanted to take care of that involves the crypt.
Let me just finish one thing. Let me just finish one thing for Skooky, and we'll get right to Sanj.
Yeah, please. Sorry.
Skooky, you feel like these lights are just for you. You think that like you've seen the next secret.
All
Okay,
right.
now,
Well, I guess I'm gonna go over there. I'm not gonna metagame it. I will go over there and check it out.
Okay, all right. Elendil, what are you doing?
I call out to Nelsworth and I go, Nelsworth, what do you think? Let's open up this lid.
Yeah, there's got to be
we
something
need
in
to
here.
stop him before he leaves the room.
Yeah, what? Oh, fuck. This is the fucking wizard. Like angry ranger, like fucking lopes over there, pulls him back. Like I'm getting like really aggressive. I'm like, okay, little man, you work on this sarcophagus, figure out how to get in there. I'm going after the wizard. Fuck, we gotta get our shit together, man.
And who's holding the torch at this point?
I think Sister Cadigan is holding the torch. No, it went out at the end of the they only last two turns.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So then I lit one of mine.
Okay, cool.
Should make sure
So
I mark that off.
I pull him. Is it a roll or anything to kind of like grab him and say, keep it together, man.
Skooky, do you fight?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay.
Unless that condition causes me to, I wouldn't.
All right. With that settled, then, unless you're going to give us unless there's a contest involved here, we can set Elendil back at the original task.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Elendil.
Like I don't want to.
You know what? Actually,
I don't want to be rolling all the dice. I wanted to pass the spotlight to Nelsworth so that he could do his thing.
Great move. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Nelsworth. Like Ellen, how does Elendil pass it to Nelsworth?
He's been like kind of like, you're the thief. You got the deft fingers. Come on. Like, you know.
Yeah, and Nullsworth was not waiting for that prompt. In fact, he
Of
was
course, yeah.
not in any way interested in your fascination with the lights and all the drama. Someone's going crazy over here, someone's distracted over there. He's like, no, like, we're here for stuff. I want the stuff.
We're here
And-
for stuff.
Yeah. And
Rich people are buried with rich stuff.
yeah. So either way, he's got criminal, and you said that each of these skills comes with some tools that go along with that skills.
Yep.
So either way, I'll either use the grappling hook that I've been carrying this whole time, or a relevant tool that comes from criminal to start jimmying open the top of the casket.
Yeah, you have lockpicks as part of your criminal supplies.
Mm. Like, I'm assuming it being like a tomb/casket thing, it's probably like a piece of stone lying over a hollowed out piece of stone type of situation.
There you go.
Yeah, and I think your grappling hook can be used like a crowbar, right? Like,
Right?
There you go.
I'm thinking crowbarish, but Eric, what do you have to say about that?
He
We're
says this is a
fucked,
really
I can
bad
tell
idea.
already.
This is a really bad idea, is what he says.
like
All
an
right.
all-purpose.
I've got my first question
Mm.
is, guys, by the way, you're doing awesome. However, who is standing with Nullsworth around the sarcophagus?
I am. Elondil is.
Okay, and I yeah, cool. So I think Cadigan and Skooky are more in the middle of the room. Cadigan is trying to
Cadigan's
get
actually
everyone to
is-
chill the fuck out. Oh,
And
what's
she
that?
is literally too afraid to help people. So I think that also means she's afraid of this sarcophagus,
Okay.
being a bit of a
Yeah.
coward.
I'm gonna use, in case this thing blows up, I'm gonna stand behind Cadigan.
Okay. And how much light do torches throw? It's 2 full light and 1 dim?
That's correct. Oh no, I think
It might be 3.
I think 2 people in addition to the torchbearer can have full light, but I don't know. This is probably in the Scholar's Guide.
Yeah, should be in the grind section. All right, actually, I just accidentally opened to it. Torches light 2 and dim 2. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how they. That's weird. How do you? I guess it's just narratively. Or we'll say that you're in light. I can only be so mean to you guys, and okay, so I gotta do this to you guys. This is how we learn the game.
Okay.
You're getting in there, you're jimmying the sarcophagus top. You're trying to get it open, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know,
I mean, that's where checking for traps, right? Like, is there that? Can you do that? Is that an action? Pete, let's look for traps.
Yeah,
Too
I have
late.
I have Trapwise actually.
Oh, let's use that.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, this is good, and I'm gonna, like, next time that you don't decide to look for traps,
Yeah.
it's coming down on you.
All
So
right.
what happens with traps is, okay, so what you do is, this is kind of a neat thing with this game, is that you say and you describe how and where
Mhm.
you're looking for traps.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Like you
And
really got to
then-
get into the narrative.
Mhm.
And then I say, yes, there are traps,
Mhm.
or I say, no, there are not. If I
Mhm.
say no, there are not, I'm being completely honest and there are no traps. in the
Mhm.
place where you're looking.
Yeah.
If there are traps, then you can search for where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Then and if you find them, you can then disarm them.
Okay.
Neat.
So there's no wasted roll. There's no like,
Mhm.
there are no traps, but I'm going to make you roll to find out
Mhm.
that there are no traps is bullshit. So
Gotcha.
we don't do that.
So
Got it.
here are the types of things I'm looking for. Looking for pressure plates around the sarcophagus in the floor. I'm looking for like little holes in the walls where like spikes or arrows could come out of. And I'm looking at the seam between the top rock and like the whatever the top of it is and the actual like sarcophagus part. I'm looking at how it is sealed and if it looks sort of suspiciously like it could trigger a wick or break open some kind of air pressure situation. I'm
Yeah, that's
also
great.
I'm also looking for anything that looks like something like gunpowder, something flammable.
Cool, great. Let's see. I'm just looking at the trap rolls just so I make sure I'm describing it right. Okay. Okay. Now you're going to use your scout skill to find it.
I'll help him.
It's going to be an OB3 scout test.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question. Do we mark a test if we help? No.
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 There is, I think it's an expenditure of fate where
Mhm.
you do, but I think it has to do with a wise. We'll have to check.
Yeah, it's wise.
But
It
you
says
have to
right
spend a point to do it, a point of some sort.
there. Okay.
And
Your audio cut out when you said that there is something about the trap. Your audio cut out for a second. Can you just repeat what you said?
Sure. There is a trap.
Mm-hmm.
And for you to find out where it is, for you to be able to detect the actual trap, you have to
Mhm.
make a scout. You have to make a scout test.
All right.
And in this case, it's going to be an OB3 scout test.
Gotcha.
Ooh, kill. But you get a helping die from me, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Can Hank help? Hank, do you have any wises that you could use to help?
Book wise and elf wise, so not really.
Book wise, and what was the second one?
Elf wise.
Oh, elf wise.
man.
How pleasant.
I gotta talk to you about elves then.
Right. And I
Now,
can't
there's
use
no-
my wises because I'm angry.
So when our elf acts up, I can try to understand why.
There you go. Don't blame them. Try to use compassion.
And there's no circling in other skills in Torchbearer, right?
No forks.
You mean
Fork.
forking? Yeah.
Yeah. No forking. Okay.
For this.
All right. So then I've got a 2 in scout and Sanj, you said you can help.
Yep.
So I'm
Okay,
rolling.
so hold on. You're gonna definitely wait a minute. Where are you? Let me find your sheet here. I need another monitor just so I can have all your sheets all up in front of me at once.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so did you click on your scout?
Yeah.
I can't see it.
Got a scout of 2. Oh, there we go. Check. Yeah, I didn't pop up a check. I see what you're saying. Okay, so
Okay.
I am fresh.
I don't
No,
think you're
you're not.
fresh any longer.
Not anymore. No,
I
not
just-
because once you were hungry and thirsty, you lose fresh.
Yeah, but I drank the water and also took it out of my inventory.
No,
That makes you not hungry and thirsty, but you don't regain fresh until you go back to.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Really cool. The mechanics are interesting.
I
Yeah,
can't
we're not
move
gonna be
this
fresh
check.
for.
I can't move this check out of the way to see
Yeah, so-
anything.
To exit, I think you
Mhm.
have to X off of it.
Oh, okay. So I need to uncheck fresh.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm clicking scout. All right, and I'm getting a 1 die help from Sanj. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So now I'm active mod. So how do I add his die? Where do I, oh, helper aid, found it. Okay.
So guys, as a group, remember that fate points, you can spend 1 point of fate to reroll all 6s as new dice.
Mm-hmm.
Use a wise or learn from help. Persona points, no, Nosworth, you don't have any, but you can spend a persona point to add 1 die.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Burning Wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
So if I
We-
roll a 6, I can spend a fate.
You can spend a fate to roll it as a new die.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've got 3 dice and you're trying to get
3.
3 successes.
Yeah.
Do you want to use one of your traits?
This would be against myself? Or-
Well, oh,
or
you do
for-
need to check, right?
Well, yeah, I could use a check on scout
But you may as well try to
to succeed. Yeah.
because failing on a trap detection
Yeah.
Right.
means that you trigger the trap.
Sure. So what can I use to help this?
Your traits.
My
Trait,
trait.
yeah.
I just have quick-witted and hidden depths. I feel like those are not relevant.
Quick-witted
Well,
is.
Tell me.
You could hear
Yeah.
the trap going off and dodge it.
Or
stop
you're
it.
very clever and you're like, I see the crafty individual that made this.
Yeah, hidden depths is like that. It's that, like, it comes from like Lord of the Rings. Like you never expect the tiny guy to be so strong or awesome or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So I mean, quick-witted works, because you're like really, I think we all picture Nullsworth like taking out his lockpicks and like really figuring things out and like almost going to like open it up and then like, oh, there's a
Sure, yeah.
whatever
Traps are puzzles.
Okay, so I will tie in quick-witted here with the trait, and exactly like you were saying, traps are puzzles, and that's kind of the way that I think, and I think it's kind of the way that Nullsworth probably thinks too. Is like in-depth analysis of the situation, and looking at all the angles and all the imagining all the potential situations.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm rolling 4 against 3, and that's it for modifiers, right? I can roll it.
Yep.
Okay, rolling. What am I looking at here? Oh, 2 6s,
Oh, cool.
a 4 and 2. So I don't need to spend the fate on those 6s because we already have 3 successes, right?
Why did
you
it
got-
say
so you-
-1 successes?
Yeah, what's that all about?
Well, you're hungry and thirsty.
No, you.
But I'm
he
not
ate
hungry
something
and
to get-
thirsty.
Oh,
And besides, that's only on against disposition on a conflict, and there's no conflict here.
okay. So
That's
So
weird.
we're
Does it
good,
make
right?
it
Get two
Success?
sixes.
I'm gonna
Um,
spend
So wait, Eric. So we were successful, or is there a problem
Yeah.
with this -1 success? Okay.
Nope, they're successful.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Log that
so-
success.
Yep. So now you've detected the trap up above the sarcophagus.
Yeah.
In
a few
these
more minutes.
there's these 8 little
Yeah.
openings in the ceiling.
Okay.
You can just see
Okay.
inside the opening, glinting a sharp spear point.
Sure.
There's 8 of these openings, like the 4 corners, and then
Easy to
a
watch.
few like in between.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So you know that it's there,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that it will be triggered by opening the sarcophagus.
Mm-hmm.
So you can now try to disarm the trap.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can open the sarcophagus, or say, screw this noise.
Mm-hmm. Now, before I make that decision, am I clicking off a check somewhere here? Is that a scout?
Test. That's a test.
All right.
Yep.
So where am I?
So it's a
Where am I
P.
checking this off?
There's like
So that's
those
a
little
P on
pits.
scout, or
Yep.
P on top because you passed it. And you
Okay.
should also have one from earlier in the game. You should have a fail on scavenger.
I have that
Last
from last
time.
session.
Okay, good, good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna actually check in with you guys now that I realize there's a trap, and kind of get the feeling of like, what do we think as a party here?
You know what? I think we're so broke and we need money. Use your trap skill to avoid the trap and yank it open. Can you do that?
Disarming
Well,
a
so
trap
what-
requires an OB4 sapper test.
I don't think
Yo.
What's
what kind of
sapper?
sk-
Oh no,
that's what you use to explode things and not explode things.
I do not have that skill.
Okay,
Me
so
neither.
then let's not fuck with that.
Mhm.
So this could be a moment for is it within your nature to do this? What are your nature descriptors?
My nature is sneaking, riddling, and hoarding. Now, hoarding is definitely like a driving force here. But
Yeah, this doesn't sound like it's within your nature. It
mm,
could be something you do outside your nature.
Yeah,
So
you can still use your nature,
mm,
and it's just outside of it. And if you fail, you tax your nature. Actually, I think you tax it either way.
But it's
Yeah,
an op 4 and nature's only like 3, right? So
I still think I'd like to get everyone's opinion as characters.
yeah, no, I think that makes
Like-
a lot of sense. I think we should come up against this when we've got more people to help on it. None of us have sapper.
fuck this.
Mm.
I don't think so.
No.
And
it
who
actually
has the
used to
highest-
be-
Learned.
It used to be criminal. Criminal was the skill to disarm traps, which I think it still should be. I almost want to like
Why
get rid of
house rule it,
sapper.
dude?
Mm,
Well, you could
Um,
rule that this particular thing is criminal. Maybe some of them are sapper and some of them are criminal.
Yeah, house rule it.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I do want to change that overall. But your criminal is still 3, and it's still an OB4 test.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
tough.
And
What kinds of
failing,
skills?
But you
Failing
could
it.
use a you could oh you don't have a persona point to use a trait, right?
mm-mm.
Oh, too bad.
oh,
You know,
you mean
there's
a wise?
Oh, why?
Just for trivia here, there actually is a sapper tab in the army.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. Yeah.
We always picked on them and said it with the lisp. We called them sappers.
Sapper. Is there any way?
So the
If
scout could help with the criminal test.
Oh.
Yeah, scout and
And
scholar.
could also
Oh.
help. So we actually
Yeah,
do
I
have a
can help
group.
too.
So we have a good group of people who could help on this.
Yeah.
So that's 2 people who can help on a criminal
I
test.
can help too, right? So we all can
No,
help.
you're one of the 2 people I was counting. There
Oh,
are-
okay.
There are 2 people who can help.
Because
I can't
Sans-
help on anything right now.
Oh,
even
okay.
even if I were
Guys,
to
let each
recover-
other let each other speak. If someone's
Mhm.
talking, don't
Yeah.
just wait to talk until they're done.
even if Cadigan were no longer burdened with the condition of being afraid, she still couldn't help because she doesn't have the relevant skills. So this might be a good moment for doing this thing because everyone who can help can help.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Do it. I got scout.
Mhm.
Uh,
So
So
how
right
many
now we
die
have
are we getting here?
5 dice, I
Oh,
believe.
the torch is guttering, so we need a new one.
Mm.
Torches. Okay. I
Should
will
I
light a
mark-
new torch. I will
Okay.
light a new torch. That's what I can help
cool.
with.
Thank you.
Now, is there any way I can use my manipulator skill to convince someone else to do it?
Well,
But
nobody
you can
has.
ask them.
Uh-huh. But I couldn't like do a role as a manipulator, for example.
But why? Like,
Mm.
why would you?
Oh yeah, we're using a turn. Yeah. That doesn't make
Yeah,
sense.
but why would you do that though?
Self-preservation.
If you
Okay.
don't want to do this, let's not do this, right?
Yeah, if you don't want to do it, don't do it.
I do want to do it. I was
You're
just
the
trying
only
to do
person
a bit
that
of
can.
Mm.
I
So
mean, you can
anyone who's
add,
helping
you
you
can.
is anyone
Go-
who's
go-
helping you is going to be involved in the consequences of helping you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I want to do it. I was just trying to do like a role play thing of like,
Ah,
like I don't want to spend a turn or anything like that.
Sure.
So yes,
But here's the thing, guys. Like,
Mm.
if like you would do that in role playing. You would say, hey, maybe you should do this.
Yeah.
Maybe someone else should do it. Like, no one else will because they don't have criminal.
Yeah.
But
I
like,
think
but that would be, because that's the thing. Like, you manipulate somebody. Like, and if it doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
in role playing and you still want to do it, then you roll manipulator.
Yeah.
when we get more comfortable with the mechanics,
Mhm.
then we'll stop speaking meta.
Yeah.
It's going to take a few sessions of that.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
the way the game is. It's so technical.
Yeah. Okay, I want to do this. If
All right.
everyone agrees, then I want to do this.
I'm glad that you have chosen to do this, little one.
do you?
With-
Yeah.
Let
Do you have
me.
any more beneficial? Sorry.
Yeah, so I kind of climb up the sidewall and look up at those holes and like give feedback as to like how deep the spears are lodged in there.
Mhm.
That's how I offer my scout dice.
Mhm.
Cool. And Skooky, you've got Scholar that you want to help with.
Mhm.
Yep. For sure.
And how do you
I am going to analyze how the shafts are pointing and tell them, hey, physically, they can't attack you this way, so stand here.
Perfect.
to-
Mhm.
My
And
study of mathematics and geometry.
I've got the torch. I'm holding the torch in a way that leaves me in dimness and them in as bright of light as I can provide.
Cool.
Nice. Thank you.
So I'm rolling criminal with 2 helping die.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you
So
have
click on
any-
criminal.
Do you
Mhm.
have any traits, beneficial traits that could help you?
Quick-witted again. I don't know
Yeah.
if that.
You've
Use that.
used your beneficial uses for that already
Gotcha.
for the session.
Mhm.
Unless one of your traits has another one, because I didn't you didn't have level input there.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming it's just one. We can go between sessions. We can go through your nature questions and see if your traits went up.
Okay.
But can you make a case for using hidden depths?
Yeah.
I think with his history, like running around for his slave owner and taking care of the other thralls and yeah, you know what, I'm talking out of my ass. No, I can't. I don't have an argument.
No, I think you've got something good there. Like
You've got something good there. Yeah.
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
You're overcoming your slave up.
Yeah, and
Yeah, where were you going with it? Yeah, keep going.
Well, I think like having constantly been in sticky situations and having to like sort of secretly sort of try to get away with things when the master's not looking. I feel like he has this ability to sort of negotiate physically complicated situations. Like, for example, you know, I don't want to be on top of the what's it called, sarcophagus. I want to angle it from the side, and so like using his like experience, sort of trying to sneakily open things in a way so as not to like attract attention. He's using that sort of ability to like open things in a manner that is like not disruptive.
Sweet. That's a cool angle.
Yeah. I'll allow it for sure.
Okay. So here's a spy. How do I enter the helping die again? I'm sorry, this is new for
It's
me.
one of the things there on that list is help.
Help or aid. Yeah, there it is. And there's 2. And then the hidden depths, how do I add
It,
that?
under,
Use
under
Using
it says
trait.
it's use trait.
Using
Use
trait.
trait, yeah.
Okay. So I'm rolling 6 against 3 now.
Not too bad.
50-50.
Okay.
Cross your
Rolling.
fingers. We're gonna be
Here we-
rich.
Here we
And you've
go.
got your fate. Wow!
That's a spy.
Nice.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Nice.
Nice.
Actually, I mean, the obstacle was 4, but you still made it.
Oh, okay. How did I
Um,
miss that?
we just didn't enter it. I wasn't looking.
Uh-huh.
That's great.
What do we
Can
see,
we-
Eric?
Wow. Okay, so you've figured out that disarming the trap involves rotating the lid off, but leaving one corner in place. There's like a little it's almost like a
Pressure.
stone, it's like a marble
Mhm.
that is, that just kind of like rolls, and like if it's like let free, that's what triggers these
Mhm.
spears from coming down. So you've got it rigged up just right.
Mhm.
So
Do we want to leave this as a hanging moment because it is 9:30 and I gotta go eat dinner?
yeah,
Probably a
yeah,
good idea.
let's do end of session so we can do it, so we can
Cool.
get
Okay.
that done now.
So
Yeah,
am I
so-
marking
so
off
you-
am I marking a successful criminal?
Oh
Yep.
yeah, you are. You
Hmm.
are a successful, smooth criminal.
All right.
So yeah, so
Let's let Chuck go first because I think
you've got it done just right, and that's where we're gonna, you guys look down in, and that's where we're gonna call it.
Woo!
Love it.
Cool. All right, so
Cool.
let's do end of session. Fate and persona, fate and persona.
Oh, man.
Good job, guys. This was a friggin' slog. Not a slog. It was grueling.
Yeah.
It's just that
lot
we
of
don't,
rolls.
don't know the system that well. We're getting there. This was eye-opening.
Yeah, I didn't realize
Yeah.
how the things pile up.
I'm finding it really hard to like inject those role-playing moments into all this like
Mechanical.
mechanical stuff. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
it's the mechanical flows from the role playing,
Yeah.
and that's my job. I mean, of course, there are things where you guys need to game the system, like instincts, deciding when to use a trait against yourself, passing, failing tests, all those little things. But it flows from the role playing, and that's what you're rewarded for.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
just remember that, and that it's my job to really, worry about those mechanical things. Okay, so Fate and Persona, but you're doing a fucking great job, Pete.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
It was a great series of rolls.
yeah, you guys are
All
all
right.
doing really great.
I am going to go ahead and start first, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So my belief was I am the church, and I did my best to embody that when I took the burdens of driving off the undead on myself, and took the cost of that spell on myself.
Yeah,
Do you think I did a better
totally.
job of embodying being the church?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that worth a fate?
You were like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Anybody object?
No.
Yeah, great.
All right. And my goal was to lay the unquiet spirits to rest. And I don't think I accomplished that because I don't think they're completely laid to rest, but I think I worked on that.
Yes.
Okay. So that's also a fate.
Um,
Those are my belief and goal.
Yep, your instinct did not come up. And let's see, we will persona points. You didn't play against your belief. You didn't accomplish your goal. And then we'll look at MVP and team worker at
Okay.
when we're at the end. All right, who wants to go next?
My belief is the voices in my head will lead me home. And my goal was I will save us from the undead. And instinct was always sense dangers in the dark. So I got my goal, I guess. Like I did get us out of that room. I didn't actually do the saving like Chuck did. But I don't know. What do you
Okay,
guys?
so you benefited from your instinct because you did your instinct and you got the
You helped the
you
party.
found the descriptor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. And to do that, he drew on his elven nature, which has to do with his belief.
Yep. Yeah, take a fate for acting on your belief.
Okay.
And a persona for his and also a fate for helping us with his trait, is that correct? Or helping us with his instinct?
For the instinct, yeah, but he took that, I think.
Okay.
So guys, working toward his goal or accomplishing his goal?
What was the goal again?
The goal was I will save us from the undead.
I think he worked toward it, but it was
He
obviously
worked toward it.
Yeah.
He worked toward it. So
Yeah,
that's
'cause
three
I
fate
imagine
altogether.
I imagine myself like swinging my sword at them.
Right.
Mhm.
All right. So that's three fate altogether, I believe.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's not
That's
bad.
pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, burn them all before getting back to town.
Mhm.
All right. How about let's go Pete.
New Pete?
yeah,
New Pete.
New
Yeah.
Pete.
Okay.
repeat.
So belief. I'm the only one who can free my fellow thralls and later myself. I mean, going on this adventure is that, but specifically in this package of gameplay, I feel like that wasn't really addressed.
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
agree.
Mhm.
And one thing I'll say is that you might want to adjust it a little bit
Mhm.
to make it a little more
Doable.
actionable.
Actionable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It could still have the same vibe, but make it
Mhm.
so you can kind of trigger it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So goal.
I'm just writing myself a note there for that.
Oh, sure.
Okay, goal. I will prove myself valuable after the embarrassment of my error.
Yes.
Okay, guys, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah.
Persona point.
Yeah,
Persona
he
point, no
did.
question.
Yeah.
Take a persona for that.
Okay.
Totally.
Thank you.
And then what was your
Um,
instinct?
Wait, do you get in Torchbearer Fate and Persona?
Nope.
If you only
Nope.
get one
No.
or the other, right?
Just one.
Okay, and instinct, always try to optimize resources. I feel like I was going for that with the trying to grab the coal from the the toppled brazier, which didn't really pan out for me.
So it
But
didn't benefit us, but
It
you.
didn't
Right.
benefit. Yeah.
And an
So-
instinct has to trigger for it to
Mhm.
even like be considered for the
Okay.
Has
for
to
the point.
trigger and
Yeah.
benefit. Yeah.
Yep.
So you sort of call it out like I'm triggering my instinct here, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. You basically
Mm.
say like, hey, my instinct is to do this, and then you get the free test, and then we go from there.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that it? Belief, goal, instinct?
Yep.
And I think you were shooting for a gallows humor.
I was.
Yes.
Did you
Yeah.
guys get it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
with
Totally.
the goat meat
Yeah.
thing?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not sure I like the idea of being eaten personally.
Hence the gallows.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay. Well, in
Yeah,
that
grab
case,
a grab
yes,
a
you
point
got
for
it.
that. Yeah,
What is that, a fate?
that's a fate.
Okay.
All right, Hank.
All right. Well, powerful magics are my birthright. I definitely attempted it, but failed.
Well, that's your belief. So, but you're acting on it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
think of fate. Think of fate.
And then my goal was I want to find out the nature of this person or thing approaching us. I did find out, but it wasn't me who really found it out. So I don't know how you would rule on that.
I think you're right. I think you might not get that one.
Okay. And yeah, that's it then.
what's your instinct?
I will always update my maps when in camp.
Yeah, win in camp.
Win in camp.
Well, we got to get to
Okay.
camp. All right.
Okay.
Well,
All right. So
So-
that leaves us with just MVP and
Well, Actually, one thing. Hank, you meant the things at the door, right? You meant like the undead things that were sneaking up on you.
Yeah.
That's what you meant, right?
Yeah.
What was that? What was the wording of your goal?
I want to find out the nature of this person or thing approaching us.
Approaching us. Okay. Yeah. I don't think you got
Not-
that one.
yeah,
Okay.
maybe just tickle it towards just generalize,
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of ran away.
Yeah.
we did. We ran
And that's
away.
okay.
Mm.
We
Yeah.
bravely ran
so-
away. All right. I really
Yeah, I
really
can,
gotta go,
I
Jenna,
can,
so
I
let's
can
finish
push
this.
things towards you guys, but but sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's go to the MVP and team worker.
I'd say MVP would be Sister Cadigan for her big ass spell and
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's true.
scaring
Yeah.
off those
Absolutely.
dudes.
And I would say Workhorse goes to Nullsworth for dealing with that trap.
Yeah,
I agree.
I
Now,
agree.
and I want to bring back the embodiment reward,
Mm.
Yeah.
because I
Oh, you're muted or something. I can't hear you.
I can hear him. Or I could.
Oh, not
can't
now.
No, I can't hear him now.
I think his headphones died.
Exactly.
Battery.
They ran out of battery power.
Mm.
Or as the Brits say, batteries.
I
Batteries.
am gonna have an angry wife in a few minutes, so I'm gonna
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
pop off.
That's,
for it.
I'll
that's
see
a
you guys soon.
condition unrecoverable.
All right,
You
give
got to go
Eric
to
my best
camp
when he's
for
in.
that.
All right, take care, guys.
See you later.
Bye.
So there's workhorse, MVP, and what was the
An
third?
embodiment.
Embodiment. Uh-huh.
There you go.
So-
When in doubt. School earbuds.
Mm.
Nope.
Can you hear us?
Go to the mic and pull up on that. And there
Sant,
should
you're on
be-
camera, dude.
I know. I gotta go out.
I'll have to blur this in the video feed.
Oh, Oh,
Put like
shit.
a really long, like censored block though.
No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stick the OnlyFans logo over it.
Yes.
Have a new job.
Well, we can do sign language.
Or just let's just do it in text. Eric, I gotta get going too.
So Cadigan was MVP, right?
Yeah.
And then Workhorse.
Yeah, I think we were nominating you for workhorse, and then Eric said something about embodiment,
Mm-hmm.
which I also see. You know, good role playing and stuff like that.
So am I claiming Workhorse? And if so, is that a fate or a persona?
I think it's persona.
Yeah? He's
Eric,
nodding
Eric, we
yes.
can't hear you.
He's nodding yes. Okay, so I'm marking a persona.
Mhm.
Or
Okay.
did you put one? Oh, I heard your voice for a second.
There.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I want to bring back embodiment, but it's not a mandatory thing. So if we think that somebody like that didn't get one of these persona awards, deserves it, then you guys can nominate. And persona means, you played your traits, you played you might you play your conditions. You're really kind of like doing what your character would do.
I feel like Hank really like followed the dancing lights in a way that was like pretty specific to his needs and his character, and as well as like the note taking with the sigils.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, he really wanted to go for it, despite like failing and stuff.
Hmm. So
Yeah.
let's go with embodiment for Hank, for Skooky, and
Wow, thank
Work-
you, guys.
and a workhorse for Peter for that end game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.
And MVP for Chuck.
Mm.
Coolio?
Cool, yo.
All right, that
You
was
know
fun,
what,
man.
Eric, I see your love for Torchbearer. The conditions really make the game. It's super cool.
Mm.
Yeah, it's cool. It just makes you do all these, makes you think differently. It makes you make choices. That's the thing.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, I love it.
but it's
Yeah.
all in service to the character. So
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank
And
you
it's-
so
glad
much
I
for your
could-
depth.
I'm glad I was able to join, right? Like that was
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dedicated. I get a fucking persona point just for that.
A real life persona point.
It's a meta point.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. That was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys did a great job.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm glad
I'm
you're having fun, Peter.
out.
That's awesome.
Just so you guys know, I'm out from I fly out for Europe on the 31st, and I'm not back until the 9th. And I can't play the 9th because I'll be back at like 9 o'clock. I'll be so jet lagged. But I'm out basically that whole week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Good luck on your jump, eh?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
amazing, dude.
Oh, dude, it'll be so amazing. There's going to be hundreds of us. And the last time I did it for the 75th, there were tens of thousands of people at Duxford to be there because it's like a museum and an air base and an air show. So they put on
Wow.
their show, and all the planes fly in and land in the field. And then we walk out to them with our parachutes on. We get in the field, and not only are there cargo planes, but there are tons of World War II fighters flying along with us as well. And we
Wow.
fly across the channel and parachute in. It's pretty amazing.
That's so cool.
That's cool, man.
You're nuts.
I am nuts, man. I am nuts. A lot of my old paratrooper buddies won't do it. They say, dude, you're too fucking old to jump. What are you doing? It's so thrilling, though. I'm a thrill junkie. I love it.
Cool. All right,
Guys,
guys, I
it's
gotta
been a
jet,
pleasure.
Okay.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
stop the recording.